And we are coming down in 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to Getting Sports with Drunk. I'm your host, Cupcake the Riddler, and I'm joined by
Mock.
Sheen Washable.
Nope.
Ash Ketchum Souls.
And the Rat of a Red Baron.
Yeah, no messy, no messy, no messy, no messy.
The Massey will join us momentarily.
No, you won't. Say it like you mean it. Say it with your chest.
The Massey will join us momentarily.
He just texted the group and said I'm not coming. So you lied to the viewers.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Say it with your chest.
I'm sorry.
No, say it with your butt. Welcome to another episode of Getting Sports with Drunk on the PPRN Radio Network. And that's it. Goodbye.
We're out of here.
Kendall, were you using Google Authenticator?
I...
No, because you're a dirty rat. That's why.
Well.
Starting lineups. Mock.
H2O.
Dry January. Except for when he's with James and Ty.
That's not true.
That's what Kyle said earlier.
Well, Kyle's a liar.
Kyle's like, if we were playing slow pitch softball or golfing or James and Ty, he would drink. That's what he said.
So pitch softball, yes.
Softball would be tough if we played in January.
Be cold. Kyle, what are you drinking?
Kendall definitely forgot to send me the wrong or the correct meeting invite.
No, Massey, it froze. I had to kill you and start over.
Ha ha.
Gil?
Oh, fuck you.
From Sloop Brewing, I'm drinking Pixie Dust, New England IPA.
Where is Sloop Brewing from?
Nevada.
Nice.
Just throws it out there.
Hampton, New Hampshire.
Listen, you were close, though.
Right outside of Nevada.
You had the N.
See, somebody gets it.
Kendall, what free beer are you drinking?
I am drinking Baby Kittens by Fat Orange Cat.
Who gave you that beer?
I got this for my birthday from my sister, actually.
Yeah, what
So,
year?
another free beer?
It
It's
was
a beer from August?
So this is what happens. I'll donate beers to Rebecca. They sit in the fridge for months and months and months, and then I say, I'm drinking these.
That's an IPA that's flavor might have changed.
Maybe.
And what did you already drink?
Oh, and I started the show. Wait, I don't know. Is it 20 ounces?
22.
22 ounces of Smirnoff Ice. I was iced by Souls and Crew. Got a little sip right here left.
Or just Crew.
Just Crew.
This crew.
J. Crew.
Paul Crew.
Massey, name that movie.
I don't fucking know.
Excellent.
Give you a hint, Goldberg was in it. So was Stone Cold Steve Austin and Nelly.
And Kevin Nash.
And Kevin Nash.
Fuck Kevin Nash.
And Joey Diaz. Joey Diaz was also in it.
I have
Chris
I have
Rock
no
was in
idea.
it. Burt Reynolds was in it.
Longest yard?
There you go.
I don't know.
We know you don't know.
He Googled it.
Yeah.
No, I legitimately didn't.
You legitimately did.
Mock's gonna kill me over here, right?
Massey, what are you drinking?
That's got some heat on it.
See what happens when you stop drinking? Your body says no.
Jesus.
From Alvarian in New Britain, Connecticut, I am drinking fresh.
How funny would it have been if he said water?
You know, I haven't smelled anything in like 3 days.
I am drinking. I had a
I smell that.
pre-show beer, and then I'm going to have a start the show beer. I will be drinking from... I'm blanking.
Missouri. It's from Missouri.
Is it from St. Louis?
No.
It is. From the Latrobe Brewing Company in St. Louis, Missouri, coming in at a whopping 4.4%, I am drinking Rolling Rock Extra Pale, the old Latrobe.
Hit the button. Roll it.
We don't have to hit the button because Limp Bizkit's here live. What would you do if they came out? What would you have done if I had them hidden in the basement the whole time?
I would be very impressed.
I think we should invest in setting up a soundboard.
No, they're not here because they're too busy. They're serenading Jeff and Alexa Bliss's sex tape. And everyone gets to watch it but you, Kendall.
That's not fair.
You get to watch it, but you get to watch it POV from Alexa Bliss.
I pay good time to spend.
Kenna would still watch it.
You get to watch it POV from the girl's standpoint.
Well, that's not great.
Kenna would still watch it.
Like, look down.
Yeah. No.
There's got to be a mirror in here.
It's just doggy the whole time.
Yeah, just a wall.
Her head's in a toilet. That Kyle used. Toast of Excellence. Anybody have any?
I do.
I got one.
Go ahead, Kyle.
Hold on.
Go ahead, Massey.
What? I said it the other day.
Was it to the
Go.
My
Steelers?
toast of excellence is to Cooper Cup
Cooper Cup.
for
Not
finishing
breaking the
with
record.
the Triple Crown,
For not breaking the record. Scrub.
for finishing with the Triple Crown.
Nope. Doesn't matter. Should have broke the record.
Okay.
He sucks. He's overrated.
Okay.
Souls?
Mine to Daniel Carlson.
For?
Kicking a 47-yard field goal to win the Raiders the game.
Yeah, nothing like the Steelers really squeaking their way in.
It's the MO. Do the least amount you can and get rewarded for it.
My toast is to Mookie Betts for bowling another perfect game.
Oh, I didn't see that.
He's done it multiple times.
Yeah, he's pretty good at it.
That's funny.
Did
That's
he break?
insane.
But did he break the record?
I mean, he could have.
We'll find out.
From the same game Kyle mentioned, to Justin Herbert, masterful performance and a losing effort. Picked up 6 fourth downs, I believe. It was 6 for 6 on fourth downs, and I think it was like 58 yards and a touchdown. Pretty cool. Pretty cool right to the
106
end.
yards and a touchdown.
Thank you, Mass.
I have a couple. One is non-sports related. It's to Lawrence Brooks, who is the U.S.'s oldest surviving World War II veteran. He passed away on his after his 112th birthday. I also have one to the Eagles for doing what the Giants should have done a long, long time ago in starting Jason Kelsey despite injuries so that he could continue his third longest active starting streak. Took the first snap and then left the game. To Klay Thompson for playing his first game in 954 days or some shit like that.
Something like that.
Shut up, man.
Ooh.
All right.
And I had another one, but I forgot. Oh, and to Cassius Marsh for really just being petty, man.
Why would he do this time?
Adam Hodge reported that Tony Corrent, the official that called the questionable taunting penalty on Cassius Marsh in the Steelers game, where the Steelers should not have won that game, that he is retiring after a season of multiple controversial calls, and Cassius Marsh retweeted it and just said, "Get him out of here." But it was get out of here, UM. That's it. It's like I always bring multiple toasts to the table. I don't know how you guys can just eat one piece of toast. Toast is delicious.
He's right. Drag him?
Crack him.
Nice. I like that. It was almost like a record scratch you did there.
Did you like that, Ken?
Yeah.
Yeah, how about you shut your face?
Well,
I have a task for you guys.
the Taskmaster is in.
I still have it's copyrighted. Fucking scum. I'm still working on the trophy to present to Mock so that I can then take it from him and give it to this year's winner. Maybe he won it again. Who knows? But I have a task for you guys for a GSWD point. You can think about it during the show and come at me at the end of the show. I don't care which of your sports franchises it is. It can be football, but it doesn't have to be. I want you guys to come up with a 20-second pitch on why I should abandon being a fan of my team and come to your team. Any of your teams.
Well, listen, the stuff that I prepared to talk about today
Doesn't have to be the Giants.
I'd say is going to be a direct contradiction to what you said.
I have a very obvious question, but I could get away with it if it's a no. Are we pitching you for specific sports? Like if we pitch you baseball, it has to be for baseball. Because I would definitely try and pitch you coming over to baseball to abandon the Bears. I just follow two baseball teams.
Just hey, give up the Bears. Be a Reds fan.
Be a Reds and a White Sox fan.
Best jerseys in the game.
You can make that effort if you would like. The whole point, but it has to be for your team.
Okay.
I'm not going to say who, but there's one person that has a big disadvantage in this.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all I got.
Me.
Kendall?
I'm going to have Paul be a Blackhawks fan.
But he already is a Blackhawks.
I was expecting more of a reaction from that side of the table, but
What?
What?
You do, bro?
because I'm like that pseudo Blackhawks fan, supporting
You're
Paul.
a Blackhawks fan like you're a Knicks fan. You're not.
Moving on.
He has
Moving on.
Try to teach Paul to be a Rockets fan.
Anyway,
I love the Blackhawks like I love my wife.
all right. So this is kind of like a
I got that.
rap sesh. Coming to the table with some stuff we want to talk
Just like
about.
Did I ring the
round
bell?
table.
Yeah.
Yes.
You did.
I don't even know like when or how. I didn't hit it.
You did it. You went right over and pushed it.
No, I was moving this thing. I must have just hit it.
I watched you hit it with your finger.
I didn't touch that.
Look, you're a fidgeter. You don't know when you fidget sometimes.
But not the bell.
You love the bell.
I don't love that bell.
Mock hates the bell.
Well, speaking of, the attention on you, Mark, what do you want to talk about?
Mock, you hate Taco Bell?
No, that's not true.
Dung.
It hurt him not to eat Taco
They
Bell.
have wings now.
Oh, wait, do you have something written out?
Oh, I tell you, I
This
spent
is
about
so he writes something out
All the
probably
time.
five
a
to six
full
times a
page.
year. A full page 5 to 6 times a year at work to bring to the show. Always forgets it.
never print
Not,
it.
Also, not to mention all his draft stuff too for our fantasy football draft. Never remembers it, but he remembers the shitting on the Giants 1-page report he wrote for Home Economics.
Can you show? I want to see the font.
Oh, it's 11.
Nice.
Times New
Wow.
Roman.
He's got
It's
bullet points.
Calibri body.
Oh,
Oh, that's the default.
Yeah. So
Not on mine. Mine's just Calibri.
as the morning kicked on, it's Black Monday in the NFL. Coaches are getting fired, and I was just kind of waiting for the Giants to announce that Joe Judge was going to be fired. And
They fired a black coach on Black Monday.
Yeah.
That's double racist.
Yeah. And he wasn't. So then I started writing down. I just titled this. It just says New York Giants suck.
I have a question before you get into it. Would you trade Joe Judge for Aaron Judge? Let Aaron Judge coach the Giants and Joe Judge plays outfield?
I don't want Joe Judge playing outfield.
You
But
don't know, man.
We know. He's a special teams guy. And not a returner.
But Aaron Judge would be coaching the Giants.
I think
Player coach?
he's athletic enough. Let him out there play some tight end.
There you go.
Much worse than Evan Ingram.
Well, listen, he could be worse than Evan Ingram. Because, I could be playing tight end, and I would be worse than Evan Ingram by a lot.
Not if you catch one pass.
That's true. That's true. So, I just kind of started writing stuff out as to why the Giants suck. So, since 2012, the year after they won the Super Bowl, they've been 61-100. Since 2017, the year after their last playoff appearance, they've been 22-59, tied with the Jets for the worst record in that span.
Do you have the record since the boat photo, by the way?
No.
I think it's the same record, isn't it?
You know what's funny,
Didn't
though?
the boat photo happen after the regular season?
Oh,
before the
actually,
playoffs?
that was the
Odell, Shirley, that was Shepard's
yeah,
rookie
but that
year.
was right before that playoff game.
That was before the playoff game.
So there you go.
So
Add
if you
one more
go
loss
from
to-
that, yeah, they're 22-60. Their last playoff win was Super Bowl 46. Their last playoff appearance was in 2016. So since 2011, they've made the playoffs once. Since 2016, they've never been above 500. So that's even like a 1-0. Never got above 500. I believe it was in 2018. They fired, at the time, the GM Jerry Reese, who was an executive with the Giants for 25 years, built 2 Super Bowl winning teams, had one rough season, fired him, brought in Gettleman, just really spiraled.
Well, didn't he also build it? Didn't they go to the Super Bowl as well in the 90s?
So Reese wasn't the GM for 20. He was like a front office guy and then became the GM. So he was the GM. I think he started in 07.
But he was part of the organization when they went to the
Yes. So
just further the case.
After Tom Coughlin left, when he was relieved, the Giants have had 3 coaches, right? They had Ben McAdoo, who coached for 2 years and went 13-15. They had Pat Shurmur, who coached for 2 years and went 9-23. And you have Joe Judge, who just finished up his second year, and he went 10-23. That extra game.
I forgot all about Shurmur.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Matt Nagy had a winning record.
So Ben McAdoo was the coach that benched Eli, a healthy Eli,
For Geno Smith?
which ended his Iron Man streak at 210 games for Geno Smith, which I wrote that in caps. Pat Shurmur like Matt said, was pretty forgettable in New York. Didn't really do anything.
Literally did not know that there was somebody in between Ben McAdoo and Joe Judge.
So at the time, like Shurmur, I thought was a good coach hire because he came from Minnesota, who had they had a good offense. He was their coordinator. Like it made sense. He just wasn't good. Gettleman came in, signed Odell to the big extension, traded him a year later, after saying we didn't sign him to trade him. 2018, I mean, we've talked about it on the show. The Giants picked Saquon Barkley with the number 2 pick. At the time, cool, it was great. He was the offensive rookie of the year that year. Since then, he has failed to play a full season. Players that were still on the draft board in 2018, there was Bradley Chubb.
Was it everybody but Baker Mayfield?
Well, I mean, like, I was trying to note, like, just the notable guys that I could just think of kind of off the top of my head. So there was Bradley Chubb, there was Quentin Nelson, Josh Allen, the quarterback, Minka Fitzpatrick, Lamar Jackson, and then I know in the second round, Nick Chubb.
That was the double Chubb draft.
Yep. In the 2019 draft, they traded back into the first round to draft DeAndre Baker. That guy sucked. And then like had an armed robbery and was gone, I think, in the same year. I don't think he played a full season.
He did not.
Yeah, he's doing pretty well with the Chiefs.
He's doing okay. So then, all right, where was I? So, Joe Judge, he looks good in the media where he comes, his first interview, I mean, he came out with the whole relentless and build the but then if you watch him on the sideline, he looks like Eli Manning used to look. Just like clueless, except Eli could perform.
Sexually?
In all facets. So I also wrote down that he just plays way too conservative. I mean, we saw it even just this past Sunday. 3rd and 9, your own 4-yard line. They call it quarterback sneak.
Baffling.
I've never seen announcers almost just silent. They ran it in the. I don't know who the two guys calling the game were, but they were just like, what? I got to imagine because it was Jake Fromm who got the start because of injuries, and that call had to have come through the helmet, and he's like, wait, what are we doing? The funny thing about that is last year, I don't know if you guys remember, in week 17, the Eagles pulled Jalen Hurts out of the game and pretty much threw the game.
Yes.
And that, I mean, it kept the Giants out of the playoffs. But, that was like a widely criticized move. And I remember Joe Judge kind of giving him shit, saying that, you play the whole game. And then this year comes out and quarterback sneak on 3rd and 9.
There's a counter to that, if you'd like.
What's that?
Knowing you're going to be fired and just going for it all anyway, hoping you do something to keep your job, and running the exact same play on 4th down 3 straight drives in a row and being sacked for minus 67 yards in total. Because that's what Matt Nagy did. Then they drew up a different play on 4th down and said, fake an end around, and then throw it deep into Hail Mary coverage. So that's what Dalton did.
So, of the other coaches fired today, Matt Nagy, Brian Flores, and Vic Fangio. Well, Fangio was, fired
And
Sunday.
Zimmer? Mike Zimmer?
No. I'm saying these 3 specific.
Oh.
All of those teams beat the Giants this year by 10-plus points. This year, they finished the season with 6 straight losses of 10-plus points. They signed Kenny Golladay to a 4-year, $72 million deal. Used a first-round pick on Kadarius Toney. Neither of them caught a touchdown this year.
Oh my god!
I saw this thing that the 22 different players for the Dallas Cowboys scored a touchdown this year, and the Giants scored 24 total touchdowns.
So, I'm pretty sure I read this quick, but I didn't get a chance to double check it. I'm pretty sure I saw that Odell had more receiving touchdowns with the Rams than Giants wide receivers had.
Wow.
Yes.
I think he had 5 or 6 with the Rams, and I think there was 4 touchdowns to Giants wide receivers.
Yeah, but that could be anybody.
They're also in almost like cap purgatory. Their cap situation is awful.
Was there truth to that thing I sent in the group chat? Did they really not have a 53-man
They had
team?
51 players. They had no money to sign anybody.
Oh, because of COVID, though. Oh, okay. But like the guys couldn't play because of COVID, and then they couldn't sign people.
Yeah.
Okay. The way the article made it seem was like that they you can't play this game because we can't pay you.
Well, that's what they didn't have the cap because you have to pay a minimum. They didn't have enough to sign
but
2
I'm saying,
guys.
they made it seem like where it was like, hey, we're gonna bench you because we can't pay you.
Yeah, guys went down for injury and whatever it was, and they just didn't have the money to replace them.
That's hilarious.
So you're looking
Joe
at
Judge
it.
should have suited up. He should have done the QB sneak.
Oh man, he's so little. So, I mean, if you look at the offseason going forward, they're going to have to make room. So they're going to have to cut good players to make room in the cap.
Plus, not to mention you guys are going to, unless you do some sort of package deal, not that it's like in the millions and millions of dollars, but you have 2 top 10 picks,
So that's
which are
the
going
thing.
to be big money.
That's the thing. Right
rookies.
now they can't afford to sign their incoming draft class. So you're looking at James Bradbury, who's right now our top corner, but he's already restructured once.
Holy shit! You only have $2 million on cap
Yeah.
space.
Leonard Williams.
I don't think I've ever seen it. How can a team be that bad and have no money?
They pay the wrong people.
But that's a lot of the wrong people. That's not like 4 bad contracts. That's like 10.
Well, so the Nate Solder contract was huge. I think Odell's dead money is still on the books. They paid Bradbury. It's not?
It's not. Well, not next year.
Oh, okay.
You paid.
Not this year either.
They paid Williams, Bradbury. I know Logan Ryan's making good money. Blake Martinez,
Galladay,
and I mean Sterling Shepard, who I
is Jabril Prepper still there?
yes,
Still there?
he got hurt.
That's fair.
So let's see.
Shepard
Your
will
cap
probably be
numbers.
cut.
James Bradbury has $21 million. Leonard Williams has $27 million.
Yeah, Shepard will be
Blake
cut.
Martinez has
Shepard will be cut, and
14.
I don't think Shepard plays anymore. I think he's
they
all
don't
done.
retire.
Dory Jackson has $15 million.
Got your sign time.
And he had a.
Kenny
I mean,
Golladay has 20.
that's what I mean. Like the Giants roster, I don't think is terrible. They have holes, yes, but the roster overall isn't bad. Defensively, the team isn't bad. I mean, the defense really to me was never the issue until later in games when they've been on the field for 45 minutes. And
Heard that.
It is what it is. Offensively, they're terrible.
Man, this sounds just like the Bears report card.
So I think we're going to see a lot of offensive guys. I mean, Saquon, I can't imagine them moving from Saquon because he's still cheap. I mean, to pick up his 5th year, I think it's like $7 million. If they extend him beyond that, who knows?
Do you wish you guys still had Wayne Gallman?
I wish they kept
He's
Wayne
a
Gallman.
Viking.
Oh, I didn't know.
And it's too bad because Gallman could be a starter on teams, and he left the Giants, to pursue that, and then bounced around.
To teams that had better options.
Yeah. I mean, he went to the Niners, then he was a Falcon. Then there was somebody else, and then the Vikings.
Was there somebody else?
I'm pretty sure. But it's just the Giants have been bad for, we'll call it, it's been 10
Dude,
years.
Stop
It's
farting.
awful.
Stop.
It's awful. The Giants have been bad for 10 years. But the Giants, at least to me, I mean, you guys may think otherwise, we're never like the embarrassingly bad team. Last year's been bad. Like a lot of their losses were one possession. Especially last year. I mean, a lot of their losses were all one, a drive goes differently. That kind of changed for me yesterday where now the Giants they're an embarrassing team right now. They're almost unwatchable. Especially, I mean, I watch it because I'm a Giants fan, but I can't imagine anyone just tuning into a Giants game like they would a Packers game or a Bucs game.
It's one of the perks of living in New England, baby.
We have to.
There was a lot of times this year that the Giants were not on TV.
Well, yesterday, the Jets weren't on TV.
I don't know, man. I watch whatever game I want to watch. I'm a paying customer.
It's just the Giants have gotten to where we used to laugh at the Jets, like they had the just complete collapse. The Browns were always a laughing stock. I mean, yesterday was the first time I saw Giants fans with the bags over their heads. It's gotten to where they're now the embarrassing team in the league. It's fucking terrible.
New York sports are rough right now.
It's terrible. Well, not all of them.
Most of them.
Not all of them.
All but one.
The Yankees make the wild card game.
Well, no, all but two. All but two. Brooklyn's good. The Nets are good.
I guess the Bills are in New York.
They are. They're actually the only New York football team.
Well, but you know what though? But even them though, like I mean, they had some wins at the end of the
spotty.
season, but they haven't looked like a team that you think is like, oh man, they have Super Bowl potential. I could see them being one and done, no problem.
It's just like I said, it's hard to watch that now. They're the Browns we watched growing up. That's what
Yep.
the 3rd and 9 quarterback sneak is the Giants' fucking butt fumble.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just that's something that's going to be talked about. I mean, that's always going to come up. I can't believe
tomorrow, Joe Judge convinces ownership to change team name to New Jersey Browns.
I can't believe that Judge walked away today with his job. I couldn't believe it. It just doesn't make sense.
The only thing I can think about, I'm saying this from a place because take it from me. I've seen it time and time again.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing I can think about is Daniel Jones. This is his 4th year coming up.
Yes.
So when's the deadline to extend him on the 5th year?
I think it'll be before this year.
Fourth year.
I think it's before this season. Whenever
Coming up, right?
Yeah.
So I don't think they extend him.
I don't.
I think they make him earn it. I think that they kind of look at it as like, even though like they didn't show it this year, like the NFC East is kind of always up for grabs.
Yeah.
I mean, the Cowboys looked a lot better this year, but they're also very beatable. Washington wasn't impressive, and Philadelphia looked beatable. I think that they're kind of just doing this where it's like a wombo combo deal. Both of you prove it, and then we start completely over. Because take it from me, it's not fun to bring in a new head coach when you already have a young quarterback.
So that's my thing. That's what I was convinced that Judge was going to get fired today because we knew the
That's
GM
why
was going to go.
I don't think they're going to draft the quarterback.
My thought on it was then they're going to go out. They have to sign a veteran quarterback.
Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Andy Dalton.
I mean, it has
Aaron
to be.
Rodgers.
I don't think it'll be Fitzpatrick may not play. The guy's
Dalton.
getting Dalton's not a bad call. I mean, Trubisky, Cam Newton,
Foles.
Bridgewater, anybody. There has to be somebody.
Oh my
behind
God,
Daniel
that's where
Jones.
Ben goes. Ben goes to the Giants.
There has to be.
And then he runs the 3rd and 9 quarterback sneak butt fumble.
There has to be an established quarterback behind it. I remember saying on the show, I wish they signed Cam Newton this year. Again, Cam didn't set the world on fire.
But before the season, though.
But
Like, it would've had the-
when he got released in week 1 or 2, whatever it was, I said the Giants should go out and put somebody behind Jones that says, hey, if you suck, there's somebody behind you that can play.
Not Mike Glennon.
Not Mike Glennon.
Not Mike Lennon.
It's just
Go get Chase Daniels.
This sounds like Josh McCown 4.0.
They just need
I
somebody.
feel bad for Jake Fromm because he was a practice
I know.
squad guy that got signed and had to play right away.
Yes. Oh, no, I don't blame Jake. I mean, it is what it is. The guy came out and he played the best he could. It wasn't great, but I'm not blaming Jake Fromm because he wasn't supposed to be the backup. But I'm saying Mike Glennon was signed. I mean, we had Colt McCoy last year who came in and won a game for the Giants. And they said Colt McCoy is not our answer at backup. And they signed Mike Glennon, who then we saw Colt McCoy start a few games for the Cardinals, win games. And Mike Glennon is a dumpster. He's fucking terrible. He was never good. Ever. I laugh because I say it to you guys. Any quarterback that might be available, I just assume they're going to the Giants. So, we could have Marcus Mariota, Gardner Minshew, any of them.
Minshew would be a bad pick.
It wouldn't be because, again,
Mariota actually might be the best fit.
but I mean, Minshew has shown he can jump in and win games and play well, But
Plus, then you get the fun memes.
there needs to be somebody behind Jones, and not even behind Jones. Make Jones earn his starting role. He never earned the starting job. Eli was aging and on his way out, and Jones was like, there was never a time where Jones had to earn that job and then keep that job. And he's done nothing to keep that job. I mean, if we woke up tomorrow and they said the Giants cut Daniel Jones, I mean, no one would be surprised. I don't think. No one would be shocked.
Well, I'd be surprised now that I know Joe Judge is coming back.
But
I would be like,
it just seems, even if they fire Judge,
what are they doing down there?
if they fire Joe Judge, how do you convince an incoming coach to want to coach the Giants right now? Be like, hey, you're going to inherit a terrible cap situation. Yeah, we have draft capital, but you're going to have to
I think that's the thing, though. That's what it is. You get the draft capital thing sucks, but it's like, hey, we have a good chunk of picks, and you get to be the guy that turns football around in New York. I mean, think about it. I mean, as difficult as it would sound, but this head coach came in and took a 3-win team, 2-win team, 3-win team. 4?
May have been 4.
5? 7-win team?
No, when Judge took over?
No, right now.
Oh, right now they won 4.
So you get to come in and take in a 4-win team that almost looked embarrassing to end the season, and you can save football in New York, and you could turn this around in 2-3 years' time and make them the juggernaut that everyone wants them to be. Like, I mean, if that's like a head coaching wet dream right there. Be like, if you can do it, but every head coach obviously thinks they can. No one's going to do a job and be like, I might be able to do this.
The killer is that, and again, we compare everything to the New England Patriots, where Brady leaves. Their franchise quarterback for 85 years. He leaves. The team has a down year. They miss the playoffs. They don't look good for a season. And in 1 year, they turn it around. In 1 year, they complete a rebuild. I mean, it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable.
What also helped that your entire defense came back.
But even still, it's 1 year, and it is funny to see.
Rebuild. They wanted to compete last year.
It's
they all
just funny.
Backed out to the COVID.
No, the offense was terrible. So terrible, and that wasn't due to COVID.
No, Cam Newton.
No, it wasn't Cam Newton. Cam Newton. It was the whole offense was terrible.
Yeah,
the run game was bad. The receivers were bad. The quarterback was bad. The offensive line was bad.
It
was
just
like a brand new offense signed up for that team.
I'm waiting. I mean, we all know it that the coaches that come out of the Belichick tree never really pan out.
That's what Josh McDaniels is scared to leave.
I mean, really, I mean, they don't work out. The
only one isn't the coach. There's a player, Vrabel.
But that's what I mean. I mean, we could say Brian Flores, but he just got fired. Whether he deserved it or not, he got fired. Think of McDaniels, Patricia, Joe Judge is terrible.
I mean, the list goes on and on. I mean,
I know the list is long.
His son will get a job eventually.
What?
His son, Bill Belichick's son.
Was he the defensive coordinator?
Yeah.
He's going to take over.
He does. It's going to be called the Patriots head coach, and they're going to be good for 55 years.
It's just it's hard to watch.
2036, Bill Belichick Jr. facing off against Tom Brady, player coach of the Sannapolis Colgers.
And the real bummer is just being done with the NFL in like week 6. And it's like, well, here's this. Just watch this turd every Sunday.
Yeah, but then you just do what I do, man. You take all the passion you have for rooting for your team and you turn it into hatred for another.
The real problem is that I'm just way too optimistic for the Jets. I'm like, yeah, listen, I mean, we said it when I went through the thing. I had him at 10 wins. I was off by 6.
I feel you on that one.
It's just terrible.
I think I had the Bears winning 11 games. I was off by 5.
I mean, it is glaring. Like, everything you said in your dissertation there, it's like each point is like, oh my God, that happened. Yeah. Oh my God. Like, that's the situation. It's bad. You're right. And
It's just
Thank God you're not a fan of the team.
I'm really pissed that they let Gettleman say he retired. I wish that before you now, I wish they just fired him. Just gonna be like, oh yeah, real quick, you're fired.
I wish they let like press conference things be real, like when they do. Like I was looking at Matt Nagy's like release statements to like everyone, and he like was talking about like the coaching staff, the players. He did a blurb about Ryan Pace, a blurb about the McCaskies, a blurb about Phillips, but nothing about the fans. And I'd like to think he just said to the fans, "Fuck you," because like the fans hated him. They were like his biggest enemy. But like, I think on your way out, you should be allowed. You should be allowed to say
Free
this.
for all.
Yeah, I mean, you're only hurting your own future job chances.
The other thing I think is really stupid is that the teams in the playoffs, like their coordinators and stuff, start interviewing for head coaching jobs
If they're allowed.
But even so, like, even if I'm the offensive coordinator for the Packers, right, and a team, hey, we want you, I'd be like, well, I'm getting ready for this playoff game here. Like,
well, I think I read a thing about it. Usually, it's like a 15 to 20 minute phone interview.
It would have to be.
It's not. They don't fly in and do it. That all happens after.
I got to imagine it like has to be. They like how can you if they call and be like, hey, what are you going to do to fix our team? Tell us.
I'm going to start by winning a Super Bowl for another team.
Well, Brian Leftwich said that.
Byron, it's Byron.
Ever, man.
Well, he played quarterback for your team. So
Byron.
Byron Leftwich said like it's like disrespectful to the other teams if I take calls.
Say it again.
The Jaguars wanted to talk to him.
Yeah.
And he said no because he said it was disrespectful to the other teams if you decided to take phone calls now. But it's
To
like
what
he's
other-
not really giving a shit about.
Oh, to
opponent.
the playoff opponent. I
Yeah.
got you. That's what I mean. It just seems like a weird timing thing to be like, I'm prepping for this game, but I got to. I don't know.
Yeah, but you got to think
They've
about it
been
now,
flying
especially
around
with
the radar
this
for a while.
fucking. I mean, you're looking at you got. It sucks, but at the same time, it's like if you're not allowed to interview. I mean, you obviously. Like, the Vikings are obviously not going to want to be interviewing the defensive coordinator from the Jaguars.
No, of course.
And to wait 6 weeks?
You're in the playoffs for a reason.
To wait 6 weeks?
Oh,
6 weeks is how long you have to wait.
No, I know.
You know what I mean?
I
Like,
get
that's the
why
thing.
it happens. It
That's the
just
thing.
seems
People
weird.
are like, oh, football is over. Like, shut the... You still have half a season of weeks of football left. It's 6 weeks from now. 6 fucking weeks until football's over. Fuck off.
And then,
I hate
right after it.
football's over. And yeah, and then it's like draft talk, baby.
You get draft up.
It never fucking shuts up. Like everyone, man, football's over, and it's like, yeah, if you live in a fucking shed,
Which I do.
football's dead. Football is only truly dead from like
July.
middle April to like middle July. After that, it's like, okay, rookie camp, hooray!
That was funny earlier too. Free scotch, hooray!
Not for you.
Hey, you got to
Oh.
say it into the mic, though.
Fuck off. Did you hear that?
All right, who else had something they wanted to
So
talk
actually,
about?
I kind of want to piggyback, not to like
Oh,
take
okay.
advantage, but I had a point that.
Oh, did you?
Are you
Yeah.
sexually taking advantage of him?
I am.
Mr. 15-minute max, you let him go 30
Do you,
minutes.
do you have a
Well,
list why the Steelers suck?
No, but
we don't suck.
I've been thinking about this
Do you,
a
have a
lot.
list, do you have a list why like 9 other teams suck so bad the Steelers made the playoffs?
Right, exactly. I've been thinking about this
Exactly.
a lot recently, and I kind of have formed this opinion that I think we've are in a bad time for coaches, because I think a lot of these coaches are being hired without enough experience. And I think the examples are like glaring. We kind of just we talk about it, all the time, like Matt Nagy, the Joe Judge. And I was looking through today, and I could bring up I was just looking at Wikipedia, like coaches, and kind of seeing what their job, experience was. And the ones who worked for a long time in a non-head coach role seem to be doing pretty well across the board now. Now, a really glaring example is Bill Belichick. I mean, Super Bowls aside, but in reality, he didn't have a head coach job for like 20 years.
Yeah.
So I just kind of want to hear your guys' opinions kind of about that.
I want to see more teams take bigger chances. For example, like it wouldn't happen because Mike Tomlin, but like let's just take the Steelers, for example, in a hypothetical situation. The Steelers made the playoffs because a lot of things went right for them outside of their own control.
Correct.
I think it would be very funny if the Vikings called the Steelers and was like, hey, we want to interview Mike Tomlin. Why not? I think that should happen. I think it should be allowed. I think that should
Well,
be.
there was a rumor like
What's
what,
the
2
last
years
time
ago
that
about
happened?
Tomlin
I
to
don't-
Washington.
no, I don't-
Raiders traded Gruden?
No, but that wasn't interviewed. He was traded.
Hey, you think Gruden's mad they made the playoffs?
Yeah, maybe.
I think he's just more mad about the skin color of some of the playoff players.
So I mean, and I bring this up because like guys like Eric Bieniemy and Byron Leftwich are kind of like these sought after people, and I'm just concerned it's going to be another really good coordinator go down the tubes again because of I love Leftwich, but he's been the offensive coordinator there for what 3 years now. And
Yeah,
okay,
but
here's the keys to a franchise. Go
that's
nuts.
how it is now. I mean,
But
Him and Kellen
what
Moore.
was the Bucks' offense before Leftwich got there? His first year there was Jameis Winston's last year as a Buck, and Jameis Winston put up big numbers.
Sure.
So
I agree.
but it was an immediate impact. It's not like he came in and like Jameis Winston was throwing 3,800 yards and 36 touchdowns, and then Jameis went to 4,200 yards and 45 touchdowns. Like Jameis Winston was like throwing like 20 touchdowns, 3,000 yards. Then he threw up 40 something and 40,000 yards, or 4,000 yards and 40 something.
his last year he had 30 touchdowns, 30 picks. I don't remember the yards.
But it was, you know what I mean? Like
Finished the season with a pick six.
started the season with a pick six too.
I mean, the thing about
Yep.
Leftwich, is I think he coaches the way he played. He loved the deep ball.
But it's more than that though. It's just like there was an immediate result.
Yeah.
When he came in, it was night and day. And then since he's been there, the offense has been explosive. So bringing him on is, you know what you're getting.
There's something to be said that I see what Kendall's saying, because think about it. Like the Rams brought in McVay, who, at the time and probably still was the youngest coach in history, right?
He was, but he had been around football for a little while.
But still, he was what, like 34? So to Kendall's point, Belichick was a coordinator for 15, 20 years before he became. So there is a big difference.
So there are outliers. Like Mike Tomlin didn't really have a lot of experience. McVay is kind of he had with the Redskins. He was like the offensive, like quality control coach. And then
What
He
is
was the
that?
coordinator.
Well, it's not.
He was
It's
the
not.
coordinator.
Not
No,
immediately.
it was some quality control or
There's
something.
before that. There's
He
like
was the
odd.
offensive assistant, and then
Knock
he was
it
the
off.
tight ends coach, and then he was the coordinator.
What did you eat, eggs?
And kind of the same deal with
It's bad.
like Kyle Shanahan kind of followed a similar route doing that type of stuff. They had kind of like parallels in their coming up, and to each of their credit, they've done pretty well. So I think those guys are definitely exceptions to that rule.
Are there exceptions to the other side of the rule?
Yeah,
Long tenured coordinator guys that haven't had success as coaches?
I think there are. I look like a guy, maybe like a Romeo Crennel, perhaps.
I don't think it matters, to be honest. I really don't. I don't think it matters. I think it's the type of person you are. Can you be a leader and can you make smart decisions? Do you have a high football IQ and can you be a leader and control the room and the situation? Mike Tomlin can take control of any locker room. That's what makes him a successful head coach. It has nothing. He makes dumb calls. He goes for it on fourth down more than anybody else. He makes dumb coaching decisions like last year when everything was a 2-yard pass. Everyone makes mistakes, but he can command a locker room and garners the respect of every single member of that locker room, both player, coaching staff, trainer, whatever it is. And that's what does it. Matt Nagy did not do that. Matt Nagy did not garner their respect. Matt Nagy was that younger guy. He's not young, but like that younger guy. He came in with a young team, started doing the trick plays, made football fun, and made it seem like more of a buddy than a. It's like saying your parents your best friend.
Right. And Paul, I agree with you, but I saw, I don't remember the stat off the top of my head, but in the past, we'll call it 10 years, the coach turnover has been much higher than that of 10, 15, 20 years ago, just because I think now it's just, okay, we gotta influx something new. We gotta, the newest hot shot, this and that.
Just to kind of parallel, we talk about running quarterbacks. They don't win Super Bowls. They look great. They're flashy. They may get there, but in the end of the day, it's the pocket passer that wins Super Bowls. So, you can almost compare this where, the younger coach, is flashy and they might get, but who's the youngest coach to win a Super Bowl?
Tomlin.
So, and how old was he when he won the first one?
36.
30, yeah, somewhere around there, 35, 36.
Okay, so but that's what I mean. You know, Shanahan went to a Super Bowl, lost to Andy Reid. There's probably like a 75-year age difference. You know, but
Yeah, he was 36.
McVay.
This guy.
But McVay
was
lost
35.
to Belichick. McVay was 35 when he went.
Yeah.
He was the head coach at 30.
32.
So it's just, I mean, it's an interesting thing to think of. I mean,
I think having experience can make you a better playoff head coach, but you can either coach or you can't.
yeah. Oh no, I agree.
Otherwise you wouldn't. I mean, like, because like I know what you said. Like, there's outliers, but like Mike Tomlin's success isn't an outlier. It's a complete opposite 180. He's been to 3 Super Bowls or 2.
2.
He's been to 2 Super Bowls. He's never had a losing season. And how many playoff appearances has he had? Over 10?
Yeah.
That's not an outlier.
No.
An outlier is somebody that's been to a... Sean McVay would be an outlier. Someone who's been to a Super Bowl and had some playoff appearances. He's an outlier. Mike Tomlin's the complete 180. He's the complete disregard of the whole rule. Mm-hmm. I think you can either coach or you can't. Experience, I think, will help make playoff runs. But you either can coach or you can't. I think that's really what it comes down to. It's just... You think about it this way. The coaching turnover is different. Yes. But football is also different. Personnel turnover is also a lot different. 15 years ago, you never saw a quarterback come in, play 3 years, and then get shipped to a different team. Nobody ever came in and played their rookie contract and left. That didn't happen. They were on the roster for 5, 6, 7, 8 years. So the whole sport is changed. Personnel changeover is completely different altogether. That includes coaches because they're considered the 54th person on the roster. For every head coach, there's 2 coordinators. It makes sense that the success rate would be lower than...
I know what you're saying.
Like, the success rate would be lower than the fail rate. It should be. There's 22, there's 32, so there's 64 coordinators in the NFL. Not counting special teams coaches and all that stuff. There's 64 coordinators. There's 32 head coaches. So that dwindles down right there, and then it comes off of... The other thing, too, is it comes off of judgment call. No matter if you've been a coordinator for 40 years or 4 games, it's entirely based off of somebody's opinion on whether they think you can do it or not. There's still no... if someone was an offensive coordinator for 40 years, they still don't have head coaching experience. They have the exact same qualifications as somebody that's been a coordinator for 1 year, which is 0 head coaching experience. Right.
And I agree. I think we either last week or the week before.
That's why I think the head coaching candidate, like the hot commodity head coaching candidate, if he chooses to be, would be Harbaugh. Because not only does he have head coaching consistency, but he's been to the Super Bowl. Granted, he kind of lost the trust in his team at the end, but...
Yeah. And like we mentioned, I don't know if it was last week, week before, there for sure are guys who can't cut as head coaches. They're great coordinators. Nagy is one of those people. He was a great offensive coordinator, just couldn't cut it at that level. And I think that is across the board for a lot of players. And not to belabor the point, because I think we've basically covered everything I wanted to talk about. I feel like some guys should be more patient, or coordinators and teams should be more patient. I feel like there's a higher chance to be successful in the long run. Just my opinion.
And that works when you're a small market team. It doesn't work when you're a big market team. You can't bring somebody in, have them coach for 4 years if you're a team, Chicago, New York, Miami. You can't have them coach for 4 years and be like, oh, well, he's only got 15 wins, but he's figuring it out. We believe in him. We're being patient. We're going to give him time. That's not how it works. You lose money doing that. It's a money business. It's not. And the other thing, too, is this might be my hot take on the situation. Of the 4 major sports, head coaching in football is the easiest one to be the coach in. Because the outcome of the game is not so much more than the coaching, but the outcome of the game is so much more based off of the talent on the field than the other sports. Because we've seen it. I mean, everybody in this room knows somebody that can throw a baseball 90 miles an hour, right? You probably know somebody that can throw 90 miles an hour. Does that mean that he could be a major league pitcher?
No.
No. Not at all. I mean, Kyle, if I sit at the elbow and take 100 shots, I'll probably make 70 of them. Does it mean he should be in the NBA?
No.
No. Not at all. I mean,
I think you should be.
No, you don't. But, like, the coaching decisions in baseball, the coaching decisions in basketball, the coaching decisions in hockey are so much more detrimental to the outcome of every single game, in my opinion, than they are to football. Because in football, you're not going to... LaFleur is not going to say, all right, Devontae Adams, you're going to sit out 70% of the snaps on this game. Because I'm really feeling, based off practice the past few weeks, I'm really feeling Lazard. Lazard's our number one. You're gonna be benched. That's not happening, is it? And it doesn't have to be that team. It can be any team. They're not gonna do it to Hopkins. They're not gonna do it to. They wouldn't even do it to Devontae Parker. They wouldn't do it to Darnell Mooney. They wouldn't do it to Deontay Johnson. That's not gonna happen. You see it in basketball all the time, though. Hey, you started 14 straight games for us, but you know what? This guy's really been killing it in practice. He's kind of got we think he's got a hot hand going. We like the matchup. We're going to slot him in. You're going to take some less minutes today. That doesn't happen in the NFL. Same thing with the pitching decisions. I mean, how many games do you think a year, Kyle? Just ballpark it. Percentage. How many games that are won and lost a year are based off of bullpen decisions? Decisions by the manager to go to the bullpen.
Probably about 63.
That's a big number. And even if it's 20 off, 40 is still a big number. It's almost half. Almost half the games. Hockey's the same thing every single game. In the middle of a game, you play 10 minutes into a game, and the coach will look and be like, all right, it'll be like, line 1, not you. You stay. You're on line 4 now. Line 4, left winger, you're out there. Like, it's the coaching in the NFL, yeah, it's important. It's scheming, but there's so many people that have their hand in the pot in preparing for an NFL game. There's so many people that have their hand in the pot on reviewing footage. And then on top of it, you can go out there and do... Now, I know sometimes, like in baseball, sometimes a pitcher just doesn't have his stuff that day. He's just not hitting his location. And I get that. But you can go out there and dial up the best game plan that has ever been seen to go against the New England Patriots when Tom Brady was there. But that guy decides today that he can't catch the football. And now you lost the game. Whereas in baseball... by the third inning, you realize, all right, Scherzer doesn't have his shit today. I'm going to make that coaching decision. But if Devontae Adams isn't catching the football, are you going to go, all right, Devontae, you're out for this drive? Are you going to do that?
Most likely no.
The answer is no. They're not going to do that to a star. In baseball, you see it happen. You see it in the NBA. We've seen it. I saw it in the NBA just yesterday. The first quarter, DeMar DeRozan played 3 minutes, was 0 for 6 from the field. Coach pulled him right out and put in IO. And said, sit down, figure it out. We'll put you back in, we'll see where you're at. DeMar DeRozan is in the MVP conversation. MVP candidate right now. Benched him because he wasn't doing it. That doesn't happen in the NFL. If Peyton Manning goes out and went out and throw 4 interceptions in the first 3 quarters, was Tony Dungy going to go, all right, Peyton, sit down, we're going to bring the backup in, you don't have it today? Absolutely not. 0% chance that happens. So, in the NFL, it's like you either have it or you don't, but there's too much outside influence. I don't think it's as hard to be a head coach.
I can agree with that. Just to kind of wrap this up, I have a question for Mock and you, Paul, just because you guys are kind of in this position right now. And no right or wrong answer. I'm just curious what you guys think. Let's pretend Josh McDaniels didn't have that one random head coach run in Denver. Would you guys, if the option were to come out, would you rather have a Josh McDaniels who's been an offensive coordinator successfully for a really long time, or a guy like Eric Bieniemy who's kind of like, the hot shot guy the past 3 years? Just what would you guys prefer if it came down to those two?
I mean, we still know that McDaniels has been a Belichick coach, right?
Yeah.
I mean, if we exclude his history, I mean, the Belichick coaching tree isn't great. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, personally, I'd probably lean Bieniemy because, I mean...
What's Bieniemy's title?
He's offensive coordinator
for
Kansas City.
Kansas City.
That's right.
So,
Kansas City offensive coordinators don't make great coaches, man. Just letting you know. Take it from my experience.
And I only bring up McDaniels not only because of New England, but I think he is like the longest tenured offensive coordinators to remain unchanged.
The Bears are going to be so good in 2027. They're going to bring in this new head coach that they're going to get. He's going to coach for 3 years. He's going to be terrible. Fields is going to be terrible. They're gonna not pick up Fields' 5th-year option. They're going to part ways with him. They're going to part way with the head coach. They're going to bring in a new head coach. He's going to get to pick his quarterback for the first time since Lovie Smith
It's going to
picked
be
Rex
Jay
Grossman.
Cutler's son.
I'm cool with that, man. No problem with that.
What do they call him in the league? The cutlet? The little cutlet?
It'll be Cuddy Cirque. I would rather have. It depends on the team. What team am I?
Well, I was posing as Giants Bears.
So I'm the Bears.
Yeah,
I would want McDaniels.
Play for that high
Or
pick
sorry,
the
no,
next year.
sorry. I would want Bieniemy. But I would want it would have nothing to do with McDaniels being a Belichick guy. It would just be that I feel like Fields fits Mahomes' offensive scheme better than he fits Jones.
Right, and like to the point right there, it's never to come down to just those two. I was just trying to think of an example of tenured
That's
guys.
the other thing too. That like coach. I mean, like it's that's the other thing too about like the whole thing. It's just like look at the success that so and so has had, and it's like, well, yeah, but who the fuck's he had? Like Eric Bieniemy is going to get all these offers, and it's like, well, yeah, but I mean, you're going to tell me that Joe Schmo couldn't be a 25 times the offensive coordinator he is if he had Kelsey Hill and Mahomes every day? I mean,
yeah, it's a factor too.
oh, I forgot my other toast of excellence: the Dirk Nowitzki getting his jersey retired, and for Jason Kidd to make the joke to him, "Hey, we're handing out 10-day contracts."
You see T.O. was trying to get on the Bucks.
Yeah,
He was like, I could make a playoff run. Hey, I tell you what.
He stayed in pretty good shape. He could probably play.
yeah.
Remember if they threw like the vet minimum at him?
Would you root for the Bucks then?
No. Because I didn't like T.O.
That's true.
Not only did he play for the Eagles, he played for the Cowboys too.
What if they brought in Strahan and he decided to sign a contract for the rest of the
That
year?
would really bum me out.
And he caught the game-winning touchdown in the Super Bowl.
No. He threw it to Tom Brady. Tom Brady caught the game-winning touchdown thrown by Michael Strahan.
Buck special.
with his teeth.
There we go.
Just in it.
You know, he was supposed to be an offensive lineman, but he couldn't close the gap.
Ah,
You know, it was funny. The Giants game I went to this year, they retired his jersey.
You're welcome.
and he's making his speech, and he starts thanking the owners, and the whole stadium starts booing. And he's like, hold on. It's like, be happy with what you got. I was like, all right, that's funny.
All right, so we'll break this down into two 90-minute segments tonight. Because Kyle, you wanted something to talk about, right?
I just want him to do that NBA thing.
Didn't you say you had a topic you wanted to talk about?
No, I only.
Well, I know Massey does, so Massey, go ahead.
I have two. Do you want to save them for later and do Kyle's or
No, we'll do
LB or
Kyle-
any of
Kyle's
those?
is going to take some time.
We'll do Kyle's when we come back. We'll lead off the second
Okay.
segment with it.
All right, so we've been
All right,
talking
Massey,
about
that's
it for
all the time
last-
we have.
All right, we'll see you guys next week.
No, we're coming back after break.
Hi, Chris.
Oh, all right. Hi, Kyle. Please don't ever do that again.
Call him Christopher.
So we've been talking about it for the last 45 minutes to an hour. Head coaching vacancies. I'm curious. We've been talking about, good fits and who deserves an interview where and who should have been fired and all this fun stuff.
Joe Judge.
By the way, did we talk?
And Matt Rule, though. That's
Yeah.
the only thing saving you guys is that Matt Rule is still a head coach. You guys might not be the most embarrassing team on Black Monday. Because Matt Rule was terrible. I mean, he was terrible.
He was almost the Giants head coach, and the
I think the only reason
Panthers beat him to him.
I think the only reason you guys didn't fire him is because he's still head coaching. I think you're waiting for him to get canned so you can sign him.
Imagine if they traded Judge to the Panthers.
It
for
is
Matt
going to
Rule.
be so fucking great when Bill Belichick ends up being the Giants' next head coach.
That almost, not that it almost happened, but I remember that was rumored a few years ago. And it's hard to not be like, that'd be awesome.
Belichick and Prescott come in to lead the Giants.
I mean, he should have taken over in the 80s, 90s.
Bill Belichick becomes 4-time Coach of the Year again. Prescott wins 4 Super Bowl MVPs.
So Belichick helped the Giants win a Super Bowl once before. He can do it again.
3 times.
Open arm. Bring
Well,
him in.
I mean, he was a coach for one of them. He was their coordinator for one of them.
He was defensive coordinator. I think he was on
He was
the squad.
coordinator for 2 of them.
Was it
Wasn't
2?
I think so. It was. I think he was on. If it wasn't the coordinator, he was on the team though.
Because he has what,
86
and
8
coordinator.
rings?
I think so. Like 8 to 10. I'm pretty sure.
No, he's got what, 5 with the he's got 5 with the Patriots, 2 with the Giants,
Yes. Does he have 6 with the
6
Patriots?
with the Patriots.
6 with the Patriots, 6 with the Patriots, 2 with the Giants. Does he have one elsewhere?
I don't know.
No, because he was with the Browns. They were bad.
The Vikings, the Colts, and the Broncos. I don't think he was with them anywhere when they won.
Baltimore Colts.
But I mean, maybe the Broncos. But
No, I don't. I think that was before
Elway.
John Elway.
So he was with the Giants for what, 86 and then 90?
I'm pretty sure because he
Yeah.
was a Parcells guy.
He was
Yeah.
there the day that Parcells got hired as the head coach. He was there from day one because he was the special teams coach when Parcells was the defensive coordinator.
He's a 2-time Super Bowl champion as a defensive coordinator, 6-time as a coach.
And 4-time in our hearts.
He holds the NFL head coaching record for Super Bowl wins, appearances, and playoff wins.
You know what else? He never played in the NFL, right?
Nope.
He was never a player.
I don't think so.
He was never a player.
Players don't always make good coaches.
No, I know.
Just ask Mike Singletary.
Yeah.
All right, so
That transition into what I want to talk about, though, is one of the more interesting coaches on the radar that came out today is Patriots linebacker coach Gerard Mayo. That's a linebackers coach is already getting requests for head coaching jobs.
But I mean, like Kendall kind of mentioned, we're seeing that more and more now, where you know, quarterback coaches get interviews. Like, it happens. He's probably not going to get hired as a head coach, but there's vacancies, so who knows? But these guys get interviewed.
Right now, he is the only non-coordinator to have been requested for an interview.
I think the Vikings.
Everybody else is either offensive, defensive, or former head coach.
I think the Vikings end up with either Flores or Peterson.
So the Vikings so far haven't requested an interview as of 7:41 p.m. That could change.
Those are 2 free agent
Those
coaches.
are 2 people that don't have to request
Yes.
They don't have to request anything for.
I
I think they either go Peterson or Flores, in my opinion. That's where I'm sitting on it. What's Kirk Cousins' situation?
He had another year.
Another year?
Yep.
I think
Flores-
And they can't cut him.
I don't think they would have anyway because Kirk Cousins had a great year.
He had a great season.
Kirk Cousins had an awesome year.
Oh, certainly.
I think they bring in either Peter. I think they want to bring in somebody that already has experience because they've got the receivers, they've got the blue chip running back, they've got the quarterback, they've got defensive pieces. They just need to get over that hump. Mike Zimmer wasn't a good coach. That's what they need. They need to bring in somebody that can keep that locker room. And you have Justin Jefferson, a second-year guy that almost broke Randy Moss's record, that is lighting up the stat sheet every time he steps foot on the field, already talking about how he doesn't want to be a Viking anymore.
Yep.
Bring in somebody that can control the locker room. Doug Peterson, Brian Flores, those 2 guys can do that.
Flores, I mean, I don't know if you guys agree, but he's going to have like the pick of the litter. I think he's going to be the big sought-after guy.
Man, Massey's been saying, certainly for the last hour.
I think he's going to be the big sought-after guy, but I think his request sheet is, I think his final hey, we want you might be 1 or 2 teams. Because people have you don't fire a head coach if you don't have somebody in mind. And the Brian Flores thing was kind of a shock around the league. Now, obviously, these GMs and such have intel with other GMs and stuff, but I don't think too many teams that have had coaching vacancies were forsaking a week ago because a week ago they knew they were letting him go. There's no team. There's no team as of the end of week 17 that knew that was unsure if they were making the playoffs or not.
It's like a formality. Just finished.
Once everybody was eliminated that fired their head coaches.
Right.
Now, question.
After week 17. So at that point, you're sitting there thinking to yourself, after week 17, I don't think any of these organizations are thinking oh, well, Brian Flores is going to be available. You know what I mean? That's, you know what I mean? So, and in that week's time frame, you got to put together kind of a finalized sheet of 5 to 6 guys of people you really want to. Now, you'll add Brian Flores to that Now,
Unless you're the Broncos or the Jaguars.
but it's like this is a super cliche way to go about it, and it might be dumb, but I think there's merit. It follows kind of what I'm saying. It's the draft day thing with Kevin Costner at the Browns movie. Like, you game plan for these 6-7 guys that you were going to be able to pick. All of a sudden, you have the number 1 pick, and now you're like, why shouldn't we take Bo Callahan? You know what I mean? Like the whole thing is like, okay, we're like, this is the obvious guy, but we're still going to look at all the other guys.
Right.
Because we've already been doing all that research. So I feel like Brian Flores could very easily slip off the radar for 4 of these teams, and they could come down to just the Vikings and the whatever. Are the Raiders?
Right.
You think the Raiders are going to be in the head coaching hunt too?
I think they said it's either Harbaugh or the guy they have now.
You know what's weird too,
Yes.
and not to,
I think it would be dumb for them to get rid of the guy they have now.
but it's weird. I agree, Paul, but that happens. The interim
Browns
coach gets fired a lot of times.
The
I don't know
Browns did
why.
it.
I know, but like,
Yeah.
but with like him making the playoffs when they were like really starting to spiral, because they were starting to spiral when the whole Gruden thing happened.
Yeah.
And like they went from being like
They lost to the Giants.
they lost to the Bears. They lost to 2
They
shit
spiraled.
teams. But like they
had
went from
Gruden,
being
they
like
had
they went from being like,
DUIs.
oh my god, Super Bowl bound in the first 6 games of the season to they're not making the playoffs. And they made the playoffs.
The only problem is they have no secondary left.
So you have the Broncos, the Jaguars, the Bears, the Vikings, the Dolphins, and the Raiders that have head coaching vacancies. If you were a head coach,
I think that I should be allowed to only say who I want, not who I think. Everybody else can put who they think. I'm the only one that has to make this decision, so I'm going to put who I want, not who I think.
if you were a head
Jeff
coach,
Fisher is
what
not
would
coming
be
out
your-
of retirement.
And
Where would you prefer to
Then
be?
I plead the 5th. What?
If you were a head coach, what would be your first location you would choose? If you had the pick of the litter.
So name the teams again. You
Which of those
got Vikings, Bears,
Broncos.
Broncos.
hold on. Broncos, Jags, Bears, Vikings, Dolphins, Raiders.
I would say Bears or Vikings if I'm a head coaching candidate. Only from the standpoint is like, you know what like the Bears defense is like, really they're just another corner away from kind of being back to the Bears defense that they used to be. Because Jalen Johnson was very good this year. Eddie Jackson had to do a lot more coverage stuff and not be the ball hawk that he was the beginning part of his career. Roquan Smith is a stud. He's an absolute unit at the linebacker position. You're probably going to lose Akeem Hicks this year, but you still have another year of Robert Quinn, who's coming off of setting, the Bears sack record. They only have 1 or 2 guys that have been notable at that position. They have Khalil Mack still. They still have players like Eddie Goldman, and they have good names on defense when healthy. You have a running back that, if you had a head coach that knew how to run the ball properly, probably would have eclipsed 1,100 yards with the time missed. He was playing really well all year. They stopped running the ball every second half of every game. There was one game where he had 100 yards in the first half and ran the ball once in the second half. I mean, you have a rookie quarterback that really is kind of a clean slate. Darnell Mooney balled out this year. I mean, wide receivers really are a dime a dozen. They're just like running backs now. You can pick up anybody and they can be good at you have Cole Kmet took strides at tight end. You took strides at the offensive line position. You have 2 new young offensive linemen. I think the Bears have a lot of upside to going with them. And on the flip side, you have the Vikings, who have Harrison Smith and Everson Griffin.
Yes.
Everson Griffin.
I don't know if he's still there. He kind of
Did
had
he
like
knock it
a
off?
he kind of had like a
He knocked it
breakdown.
off.
Who was the guy that was going to go to the Jets and went back to the Vikings?
Sheldon Richardson?
Sheldon Richardson.
Linebacker.
Or was it Anthony Barr?
Anthony
Kendricks.
Barr. Lance Kendricks is what I'm thinking about. They got Kendricks. They got not Lance Kendricks, I think, is an NBA player.
Eric
Kendricks.
Lance Kendricks is like a boy band guy.
Steven Kendricks.
Anyways.
Like
Chris Kirkpatrick.
You have absolutely like goated status wide receiving core. You have potentially, I mean, you don't know, but like potentially you have a really solid tight end after he comes back from his season-ending injury. You got Dalvin Cook, and you have a quarterback that you don't got to worry about. You can pretty much put together any playbook you want. Kirk Cousins is going to be able to learn it. So, I mean, the Broncos don't have a answer at quarterback right now. There's no answer there at quarterback. Now, going there means
I think that's the only thing that they're missing.
I mean,
their defense was still a top 10 unit. Their wide receiving core is phenomenal.
It's phenomenal with work. It's phenomenal with work.
It's phenomenal when you have a quarterback that can actually play the game.
It's yet to be seen, though, because they haven't had a quarterback that can play the game. You don't know that. I mean, you'd have to look. I'd need to see what analytics are. How many of their catches? They have all these catches and all these yards. Cortland Sutton and Tim Patrick are both big run after the catch guys. How many of their catches were slants? How many of their catches were inside 5 yards? How many of their catches were deep balls and blown coverage? How many were screens? I know those are all parts of plays, but to the percentage, how many were contested into double coverage? Is Cortland Sutton the throw it down the seam guy and let him outrun the linebacker and outmuscle the safety to get the ball? Can Tim Patrick outpower a linebacker on a route to get the ball? Or are these guys that are catching 6-yard slants and turning them into 14-yard gains? Are these guys, those are tools to have, but those guys are also you can figure them out. I think the running back situation is questionable in Denver. And we've seen time and time again, whether it's you chalk it up to coaching, ownership, management, whatever, quarterbacks don't always come out so hot in Denver. Whether it's the altitude, the coaching, whatever it is, it doesn't always work out so great. Jacksonville.
Peyton Manning looked pretty good.
Who?
Peyton Manning looked pretty good when he came out there.
And who else since John Elway has?
Oh, that's a fair point.
Jake Plummer was all right.
He was. That's
Cutler
the three. That's
right.
three.
Cutler wasn't really that good at Denver.
Kyle Orton had a couple good days.
All right, that's enough out of you.
I think Denver is a good spot because you do have that young defense that's ready to take the league by storm. You have Justin Simmons. They just drafted Patrick Surtain.
If Denver's going to bring in a head coach, it's got to be somebody that's seasoned and knows what they're doing. Denver can't bring in a 41-year-old coordinator. That team, they will not be. The biggest problem for that will be garnering the respect of the locker room because of how young it is. They need to bring in somebody like a Doug Peterson or a Flores or a Harborough that has coaching experience at the NFL level and has won.
Listen, Dave Gettleman may have retired as a GM.
But you'll be damned if he doesn't fill the offensive coordinator position in
He's
New
coming
York.
back as a coach.
But even Miami is always a good pick.
I think Miami's, in a good spot for a head coach to come in.
Miami's a good pick. The owners are fucking stupid.
Yeah, they fired Brian Flores.
Exactly. So, do you want to go play for that organization or coach for that
The
organization?
other thing, too, is you got to take into account you have to look at what you're dealing with, and I refuse to believe this isn't something that crosses the mind of a head coach. You take your odds. If you become the head coach of the Raiders or the Broncos, you know you're dealing with Patrick Mahomes for 12 more years. And Justin
absolutely.
Herbert. So not like your job is already hard because you have to outdo them. Because if you make it to the playoffs and you get bounced in 1 or 2 games after 5-6 years, like you'll eventually, but you're not winning the division, like you're not doing it convincingly, you start getting questioned.
Yeah.
When you go to Miami, you're dealing with Josh Allen. The Patriots are back. They're the real deal. There's already contention there. The Bills have commanded the AFC North or AFC East, and the Patriots are knocking on the door saying, we're ready to take this back now. Thank you for keeping it warm, but it's ours. You go to the Bears, the only thing would be, or the Vikings would be that, how much more time does Aaron Rodgers have? Realistically, maybe. What if they win it all this year?
I think if they win it, he's done.
They win it this year, he's done.
I think so.
I think if they lose before the championship game, he's done. In Green Bay. I say that hopefully, but
I for sure don't think he's in Green Bay next year, but I think
I do.
I think if they win a Super Bowl, I think he retires.
So I just found out why they let Flores go.
He slept with the owner's wife.
There was a power struggle between him and the GM.
And the GM.
Yeah.
I mean, that's usually, they kept the GM and fired the coach.
The GM didn't want Tua, Flores did. That's what it boils down to. There's been reports since day one. oh, we're looking at Deshaun Watson. Brian Flores was a big advocate of Tua. He didn't want to get rid of Tua. Now I think if you're a Miami fan, the watch isn't on your next head coach. It's on the how much longer does Tua have? Because Deshaun Watson is still available.
But Watson wanted to go to Miami because of Flores. So now if he's Watson still has the no trade, so
Watson to Pittsburgh.
Listen, that would be a really fitting guy after
I didn't
He's
want to
gonna
say
win
it.
a Super Bowl.
But
he's also got to get married. Do you think Deshaun Watson will get married?
Yeah.
Deshaun Watson made a lot of money this year and didn't do shit. You think he got paid all year?
Well, we don't know what he did.
Well, but really, he got paid his salary a whole season, didn't play. I can't imagine that they do that for 2 years in a row. That would just be outrageous.
All the teams, with the exception of the Jags, have their pluses and minuses. The Jags, the minuses completely outweigh the pluses. Everybody else it's a little bit closer to 50-50. So, really, it's going to come down to the personal preferences. Do you think you can win? Location, family, where you're from, shit that's what it's going to come down to. I really think it's pretty close between the two of them. And at the end of the day, they're all embarrassing teams. So they all had embarrassing seasons.
Yeah, there's a head coaching job for a reason.
The Broncos started the season undefeated and turned into a last place team.
How long were they undefeated?
Were they undefeated, or they were
like 4-0,
I'm
5-0.
curious.
3 or 4-0.
4 or 5-0. I think it was closer to. I think it was
maybe
4
it
or
was.
5. But either way, they won it was either even still 3-0. They beat
I remember-
formidable teams at the time.
Week 1.
They could have been a Super Bowl team week 1. You never know. But they went from being first in the West to last. The Bears are a historic franchise that have been a fucking laughingstock for 30 years, with the exception of one good year that still didn't result in anything. The Vikings have
went
been
to the NFC Championship game
and lost to the Packers.
but it's still a good game.
Nope.
Or it's still a good season.
Nope. It's not when you lose to the Packers.
Is Matt LaFleur
Are the Rams going to have had a good season if they lose to the Cardinals?
No, but
Exactly. So shut up.
Steelers had a good season.
No, they didn't. A bunch of other teams had bad
Tied
seasons.
the Lions.
A bunch of other teams had bad seasons,
I
Kyle.
tell you, that firing I thought was kind of odd. That they fired Dan Campbell.
they didn't fire Dan Campbell.
I thought it came out he got fired
No,
today.
they fired the offensive coordinator.
Yeah.
They fired
Anthony
Lynn.
Lynn.
I thought it was both of them.
No, they didn't fire
No.
Dan Campbell.
Dan Campbell reported that Anthony Lynn was fired.
Oh,
He's having a
okay.
fire at his house tonight. I was invited, but
I think Dan Campbell's a good coach.
Secret hangout.
Okay, so I
Dan
I
Campbell.
misunderstood.
I do think he's a good coach.
I'd be in for that.
Okay.
All right, we've talked about offensive coordinators enough. Let's talk about the players. And then maybe some coaches again.
Which one?
David Montgomery would have been a top 5 running back this year if he didn't get hurt.
So let's talk about the NFL awards as the regular season has ended, and this is what
I thought
is
you
supposed
asked us.
to happen.
I thought you asked us to come with coaching. Fucking you bastard.
I did, and then we got completely derailed.
well, we chatted. We can still do
I
that.
want Brian DeBall.
Okay.
That's all I care about. He's not going to get it. I'm not going
I
to
don't
bring
know
him
who
in.
that is.
He's the Bills' offensive
Oh,
coordinator.
the guy they requested to talk to?
No, they
Yep.
they wanted to talk to Leslie Frazier, the defensive coordinator, who
They
was a
actually,
Vikings head coach.
46 minutes
Fuck
ago,
him.
They actually just requested to interview him at 8:38
Who?
per Ian Rappaport.
Who?
Bears are requesting permission to interview Brian DeBoll.
Want him so bad. He's the guy that
So-
he's the guy that coached Tua in Alabama and Josh Allen as a rookie.
Yeah.
He knows how to mold a quarterback. That's the only thing I want. Mold the quarterback. Show me if Justin Fields can do it or can't.
Yeah.
Everything else I don't give a fuck about. I don't care if the Bears go 6-10, 6-11 next year, and the defense is the worst defense in the league.
They're going to bring Trubisky
Show me
with them.
good. Bring him.
Trade Fields.
Make Fields and no, they're going to keep him. They're going to bring Trubisky back. Make Fields and Trubisky fight for it.
They're going to run strict Wildcats.
Could you imagine if they promoted Foles to head coach? We
Player
saw
coach.
what you did.
Could you imagine if you accidentally ran over your cat's skull tomorrow?
I was not being mean.
I am because fuck you.
Are we guessing who goes where?
Yeah, we can.
You don't have.
Yeah, best fits, I guess.
Let's put it this way. All right, fine. We're gonna go. We'll do this draft. So, Kyle, who are the Broncos signing? Who's their head coach at the end of the start of the year? Instead end of the year.
Brian Flores.
All right, Mock. Who's the Jags head coach?
Who cares? I mean, they're gonna be bad.
Requests so far have been
Actually, Anthony Lynn wouldn't be bad there because he wasn't bad in San Diego or Los Angeles.
He just got fired from
Miss
offensive
Clifton.
coordinator in
Miss
Detroit.
Clifton.
Kendall, who's the Vikings head coach?
It's going to be Don Martindale, Ravens defensive coordinator.
Massey, who's going to be the
fake guy.
Bears head coach?
What?
Thought that was a fake guy.
No, it's okay.
Bears head coach,
Wilmer Flores.
Doug Peterson.
Gross. I don't know what the fuck I did to you.
No, he's gonna bring the dog masks.
Kyle, who's the Raiders head coach?
John Harbaugh.
Man, imagine if they brought Gruden back.
And last but not least, Mock, who's going to be the Giants head coach?
Oh God, somebody fucking judge.
Yeah, I know, but I had to end it with him.
Dolphins.
Who's the Dolphins head coach, Kendall?
They've had to have fired, they had to have somebody in mind.
Harbaugh.
That's what I'm thinking too.
They're saying no.
He already came out and said that.
Yeah, they could say whatever they want.
Dude, knock it off.
I didn't do it that time.
I got a whiff for something.
That's just you.
That's a lingering fart. What that is.
It's just your.
He probably moved. There was a small cloud.
It's your Burger King jacket.
I don't know. Paul
Dolphins head coach.
kind of convinced me, the whole commanding a locker room. I like a Peterson type route.
He's already been taken.
Yeah.
I'll have to pick
This
something
is
different.
draft rules.
Oh my!
Actually, another good fit.
Jimbo Fisher.
Byron Leftwich.
Just say be enemies so we can move on.
Todd Bowles. Let's get another crack at it.
Okay.
I don't.
All right,
I don't
so-
believe that.
All right, we got to go through this coordinator thing or this rewards thing relatively quickly, so we can go to break and get everything done.
God damn you, Kyle. All right, so
We were talking for you
And
for 45 minutes now.
Yeah, Mock went on his 30-minute rant.
I actually have another Giants rant if you guys want to hear it.
What's more important?
I'm kidding. Go ahead, Matt. Sorry.
all right, so end of the regular season, which is where voting is supposed to take place and part of.
Aaron
let's
Donald
go
for Defensive
through
Player of the Year.
The awards and people we believe will win them. So let's start off with the big one, the 2021-2022 NFL MVP.
Aaron Rodgers.
If it's stats aside, Joe Burrow. But it should be Aaron Rodgers.
Aaron Rodgers.
Aaron Rodgers.
But it also could be Tom
Gross.
Brady.
It might be Tom.
Had a good year.
He said, Mock said it in the car. He said his all-time passing yardage lead for a season. Granted, he had the extra game, but still. He threw for, what, 4,200?
You want to? No, I think he had 53. He was over 5,000.
You
You wanna know why?
44 touchdowns.
Unbelievable.
You want to know why
45
I won't
touchdowns.
even factor in the extra game for him? Because he's 95 years old. He was like, "Fuck, I gotta play another game."
I love how he was like, I love how Arians was like, hey, we're going to take you out. He goes, the fuck you are? You guys are paying Gronk extra. Fuck Antonio
All right.
Brown. That's what he
Think
said.
of that. How many teams can the court? I mean, there's a few, but when you're like, "Hey, we're taking," I'll be like, "No."
Yeah, sit down.
Hey, coach, get a snack.
Very few. Offensive Player of the Year.
Jonathan Taylor.
Cooper Cup.
Cooper Cup. Well, is it AFC and NFC?
Yeah,
No.
it's together.
Oh, it's one player.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Cooper Cup.
I think it's got to be Cup. The Triple Crown thing is
Yeah, Cooper Cup.
Is a stolen thing from the MLB.
yeah.
Yeah, the NFL was excited. Ooh, we could do that.
He said
Cooper
Cup.
Cup.
He said Cup.
Yeah, what about Evan Ingram's? Evan Ingram has a triple crown: drop passes, tipped balls for interceptions, and blown blocks.
He would lead the league.
Defensive Player of the Year.
Aaron Donald.
T.J. Watt.
It'll be T.J. Watt.
TJ Watt.
Dude.
Who deserves it or who's going to win it?
If it's Trayvon Diggs,
Trayvon Diggs isn't going to win it.
no.
I don't think he's going to win it. It's going to be T.J. Watt. I don't foresee it being any other person.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it'll be TJ Watt.
He tied the sack record. I
Yeah.
mean,
He needed the extra game to do it, but he tied it.
Dude, you stink.
It's
Mine is-
terrible.
2021 Offensive Rookie.
Jamar Chase.
Jamar
there's no
Chase.
questions
Yeah,
asked.
Move along.
There's also no question about the next one, Micah Parsons.
Yeah, he was good.
Could have been a Giant. Trade it back.
So, fun fact.
You could have had
His odds.
Chubb, Parsons, and the offensive lineman there.
Quentin Nelson.
You could have had all three of them. Instead, you have Barkley and who'd you draft in the first round this year?
This past year, Kadarius Toney had a great year.
Barkley and Toney. You could have had Chubb, Nelson, and Micah Parsons.
Yep. Love that hindsight.
Fun fact.
Armchair quarterback, baby.
Micah Parsons' odds to win are minus 10,000.
Yeah, he's going to win it.
Yeah, Jamar Chase should be even more. Jamar Chase's odds to win it should be minus 400,000.
The only other person that challenges him is Mac Jones in odds.
That's stupid.
It's not even close.
In odds.
But it's not even close.
Still stupid. Mass.
The only way I would say the odds could be somewhat closer would be that if the Bengals had missed the playoffs, but they didn't.
Yeah.
So fuck you, Massey.
2021, 2022 NFL Comeback Player of the Year.
Was there any like big stories?
Well, Ryan Fitzpatrick did come back.
Come back.
There's two big ones. There's three big ones, but two of them are bigger because they're quarterbacks.
Cam Akers.
Nope.
How many yards do you
Well,
have?
Quarterbacks. Who came back as a quarterback?
Cam Newton?
Bridgewater?
No, Bridgewater played last year.
Oh, that's right. All right.
Cam Newton?
No. Dak Prescott.
Oh
Yeah.
One.
I don't
We
know.
just said the other guy's name. Well, maybe not his name, but his team.
Just wait till next year when it's Deshaun Watson.
Oh, no. The other one is Joe Burrow. Towards ACL last year.
Nah, because that falls into the Joel Embiid Rookie of the Year thing, so that doesn't count. He didn't play 14% of all tip balls or something.
Ben Simmons, man.
Whatever. How's he doing for you guys this year?
They still want him.
Burrow played.
There's
half
a
the
report
season
out
last
there
year.
that just
You guys are going to lose to the Rockets tonight.
we're up by like 13.
Burrow went down in week 8 last year?
I think
Yeah,
I think you have to give it
something
to Dak.
You got to give it to Dak. I give it to Dak. Dak didn't play almost at all last year. He went out
down
this-
week 2
week 2, right? Yeah.
against the Giants.
Who's the other one?
Burrow?
What about the other one besides
Burrow.
that?
Who was
Nick
behind him?
Bosa and Carson Wentz.
Not Carson Wentz.
Not what's Nick Bosa's stat line?
Hold on.
Yeah, Joe Burrow played 10
840.
games last year.
Did he play? I didn't realize he played that late. So, I mean, that also,
He threw 14 picks though, so it's like
that weighs in. I mean, he had a much shorter rehab for a torn ACL and then lit it up this year.
Let's see.
15
and a half sacks, 4 forced fumbles, 21 tackles for a loss, and
Good stat line,
32
too.
quarterback hits.
this is the only one so far that's been close.
I personally give it to Burrow, but
I gave it to Dak.
Yeah, my gut was Dak all the way.
I say Burrow.
Fuck it, Nick Bosa.
There we go.
He had 15 sacks.
Hey,
All right.
Did you guys see that commercial? Because I just thought of it with the Manning
Burrow
brothers.
threw for 200 more yards, but Prescott threw 3 more touchdowns and 6 less picks.
Did you guys see that commercial? I think it was like the draft, whatever sports betting thing, but it's like JB Smoove
I know
and
what
the
you're talking
Manning
about.
brothers,
Yeah.
and they're talking about the helmet catch, and he's like, and Eli
Yeah.
looks at, he's like, oh yeah, you couldn't throw, and he's like, yeah, I would have hit him in the numbers. Made me laugh pretty hard.
all right,
The best one of that one is where he goes, "You're Cooper, right?" He goes, "Yeah." He goes, "I like you, Cooper."
You're my favorite.
He's just in the back. That dumb.
I give it to
Manning face.
Prescott. I think Prescott.
All right. Coach of the year.
Joe Judge.
Matt LaFleur.
No,
Um,
he'll probably win it, but he shouldn't.
There's one other person that's actually favored higher than him.
Is it Mike Vrabel?
Who won the AFC?
He's not.
Mike Vrabel.
Vrabel actually comes after LaFleur in terms of odds.
Who is it?
Cliff Kingsbury.
No. It's Zach Taylor.
Bengals head coach?
Yeah.
I give it to
I'm
him.
going to say Bengals head coach, but I couldn't think of what the hell his name was. I wanted to say Marvin Lewis so bad.
I honestly think
Could you imagine?
Biasica should win it.
Hey, when they lose in the AFC Championship game and they fire him and bring back Marvin Lewis, it's gonna be so great.
I'm surprised he never got a job.
Marvin Lewis?
Well, he was a very bad
I don't think
coach.
he wants one.
Or if Zach
He
Taylor
wasn't a
wins,
very bad
I
head
know.
coach.
Zach Taylor wins and he dedicates
Made the playoffs
the
8 years
win.
in a row.
I'll say he's made more playoffs than the last 4 head coaches of the Giants.
3.
How many playoff appearances did Coughlin have?
Coughlin had a lot.
Not really.
He had enough. He had more than Marvin Lewis, I think.
I don't think so.
Maybe not. Coughlin's career was saved by 2 Super Bowls.
He missed a lot.
No, his career was that he didn't have any heart attacks on the sideline.
Well, documented.
True. Didn't Gary Kubiak have like a stroke on the sideline?
All right, let's see.
Something like that. I remember.
Giants playoffs 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 out of
Man, I thought he was counting
11
in a row.
seasons.
I know the Bengals guy. What the hell's his name? But we just talking
Marvin
about him.
Lewis.
Marvin Lewis had 7 playoff appearances.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep. Except he
Um,
didn't win any games, so fuck him.
I might give it to Zach Taylor.
I said playoff appearances, baby.
The Bengals were supposed to be that good.
Of lists or of the odds, I'll give it to Zach Taylor. I think Biasica should win it though,
I don't know who that is.
because we were talking about that earlier.
That's the
Raiders
St. Louis
interim head
Blues
coach.
head coach.
No, he shouldn't win it.
No,
You shouldn't win it if you coach half a year.
Yeah.
He deserved
But
half
he
of
took
your
a team
head
that was
coach of the year.
spiraling and floundering and brought him to the playoffs.
Barely.
Yeah, Derek Carr did it, not him.
He still did.
He
Actually,
doesn't
Hunter
deserve Coach of
Renfro
the
did
Year.
it.
How many Monte Cristos did he eat during the year?
No
Exactly.
less than 9.
All right, let's go to break.
I say LaFleur.
Well, I think offensive. I think MVP should be considered for people that had a really good second half of the year.
Rex Burkhead. He's good.
The
He was
receiver
only-
on the Lions.
Only about
there.
4 games for Burkhead.
The other
Amon
Brown.
St. Brown.
He had a pretty good week 9 through 17
Yeah,
or
he did.
18, whatever the fuck.
Yes, he did. He was on the waiver wire for so long.
Well, yeah,
Who was
because he
that?
didn't do anything until week 9.
Ahmad St. Brown.
Amon St. Brown. Did you see?
Amon-Ra
Did
St.
you
Brown.
see his dad in the stands the last game of the season?
That jersey was pretty cool.
Yeah. Did you see it?
No.
His dad. So his dad is also the father of Amon St. Brown's brother, who plays for the Packers. So he sewed together a
Equanimous
Packers
St.
and a
Brown.
Lions jersey. So it was Amon St. Brown's jersey on the front and the Packers jersey on the back.
But it wasn't like the half and half. It was like
No, like
Packers
it
and then
kind of
the
came over the
sleeves.
shoulders a little bit.
It was kind of cool.
It was the Lions sleeves and the Lions front, and the Packers shoulders kind of came to here, went over the back, and then down the backside.
Do you think he knows one better than the other?
I mean, they're both in the NFL, so.
Who was that guy that we saw the jersey that would never have a jersey for him at the Steelers game that year?
Oh,
It was like a backup corner.
it was
Weldy Moore?
no, it was the wide
White guy.
receiver, white receiver, the tall guy.
Oh, Brian Hartline.
No,
They said tall, man. Isn't Brian Hartline like
he had like
5'8"?
a
the only
4-letter
white guy.
last name.
I know.
You had what?
4
Foot.
Poe.
Derek something.
How would you spell Poe to make it 4 letters?
Phoe.
That's Foe.
No. The H is silent.
That's Poe.
No, not if it's silent.
Yeah.
So, fun fact: while Kendall's thinking about that, about the St. Browns,
Moon?
May?
the Amon Ra and Equanimous, their dad, his last name is just Brown. He added Saint to their last name because he thought it would be cooler. Literally, the only reason their name is Saint Brown.
Moy.
Derek Moore. Derek Moore. His
M-O-
grandmother. That was definitely his grandparents.
Moye, I think it was.
Yeah, definitely. You're looking
No, that's
it up.
not it.
You're literally looking it up.
That's not it.
I typed in 2015 Steelers, and that's as far as I got. I don't even know if it was the right year.
Nah, it was Darius Hayward Bay.
4-letter last name, tall white guy.
Got the tall part right.
Before we go to break, we tell the story all the
No,
time.
we gotta go to break.
Wait.
No, we have to go to break.
We-
It's time. You have to save it. You have to save it. We're out of time. Mark, tell them we're out of time.
What?
Listen, I'm Switzerland here.
It's so good.
Kyle, are we out of time?
I'm Canada here.
So that means you're on my side. I'm America. He's India.
Oh,
You're out. You're out.
All right. We'll see you guys live. I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
we're leaving the Steelers game. We're going down the ramp. Going the opposite direction. A guy going up the ramp in the Bears gear sees Paul in the Bears. Like, oh man! So he gives us a big dap and a hug.
Yeah, was that the Bears game?
No, I think.
Oh, you were there for that. It was the Bengals
I was there.
game.
Yeah.
It was either the Bengals or the Giants one.
Yeah, the guy just
go the complete opposite direction.
going back up to the stadium.
Yeah.
My favorite
Sees
was
Paul, clears everybody out.
Yo.
my favorite was like that.
I remember Kyle looked right at me and goes, "Was that Lance Briggs?"
That was funny when we were going in. I think that was the Giants-Steelers game, and there was a guy in the full head, like the Chiefs headdress, walking down the street. We're like,
Because they
what
played
the fuck?
They played a
Well,
Teddy M that
remember the time we went to the Ravens Steelers game, and there was the guy in the full Browns uniform?
Yeah.
That was cool too. And then we went to that Bengals game where you guys all dressed for cold weather, and I didn't. And I
guy was wearing the
comfortable.
tiger
guys
costume.
Guy
got
in the
beat
tiger
up.
costume got his ass kicked in the bathroom.
Yeah, good times.
Yeah. What's the record of games we've been to? Are they
They
500?
lost once.
No, they lost to the
Twice,
Bengals.
twice.
They lost to the Bengals. And they lost to the Bears.
That's it. They lost once.
So
Beat
you're
the
3 and 2.
They beat the Ravens. They beat
The Rams and the Giants.
3 and 2.
So you're 3 and 2.
We saw him play the Rams?
Yeah,
That was
the
the last
last
game.
time.
It was when Mason Rudolph beat him 9-3.
Remember when Massey got his own hotel room?
Oh, yeah.
Spitting the mountain medicine.
Man, the snoring.
When
is
we
just
went to
too
the wrong
much.
seats 3 times.
And Kendall got that escort service card.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah! Don't act like you don't call the number.
Don't act like you don't make online orders.
I
in a
lost
cart.
it.
I just want to shop
I
for
don't
what's
actually
available.
remember that.
Yeah, that was
When
when
did
Mock.
that
That's
happen?
when Mock and I thought the concourse was coming down.
That
Yeah.
game was cold.
Oh,
No, the Ravens one was fucking brutal.
The Bears one was nice and good temperature. It was a nighttime game. It was like 64 degrees out. End of September.
Kyle didn't invite me to that one.
I drove the whole way there, watched the game, then drove the whole way back.
We bought the tickets at Burger King.
Kyle didn't invite me to
True.
that
Me,
game.
Kendall, and Kyle sat in the Burger King lobby and bought those tickets right online. We asked. Kendall and I were like, "Do you think Mock would want to come?" And he goes, "No, you wouldn't
I know.
want to go."
I know.
I invited you to all the ones after.
Kyle, I got
No, you
invited to the
didn't.
one
No, you
after
didn't.
because your girlfriend at the
Yeah,
time
you
couldn't
didn't
go.
invite him. He got a pity ticket. Him and
And-
Jeff got pity tickets.
And we figured out it was way better that way.
Yeah.
Well, next year we're doing it with all the girlfriends.
I'm out.
Well, Marissa's still going,
yeah.
That's fine.
and you're going.
Nah.
Yeah, because if she's going, you're going. We're also inviting Eric
Nah.
with the girlfriends.
Eric,
No. Go to break.
All right, we're gonna go to break. When we come back, we'll do the NBA wheel thing Kyle wants to do, and homosexual things. Live on the other side of the PPRN Radio Network.
Home of getting sports with Drunk on Monday nights. PPRN Radio. Home of the Peter Pinot Show. Peter Pinot Show. PPRN Radio.
Damn, where are we? PPRN Radio. Always on, sometimes off. PPRNradio.net. PPRNradio.net. The most diverse playlist on the planet. 24/7, 365. Yes, your mama's station. Bringing that heat. PPRNradio.net. The station that's home with your wife. While you're at work, we keep her company. We keep her happy.
And now, back to Getting Sports with Drunk on the PPRN Radio Network.
Welcome back to Getting Sports with Drunk. I'm your host, Cupcake the Riddler.
Hey, Paul. Paul, do you have anything? What's cool?
Hey, it was before the thing finished.
Joined by all of them. Oh,
It was
Kyle.
not. I heard it.
Kyle,
What's up, bro?
your boy, Jason David Frank,
Yeah.
was doing an autograph signing at a comic book shop.
Yeah.
And this little like 8-year-old girl showed up in a full Pink Ranger costume, and he signed a Green Ranger helmet and gave it to her. Must suck to not be a 6-year-old girl, huh?
Yeah.
We didn't do our Pick'ems finale.
I lost with
Well,
Massey,
I was gonna say, well, Massey lost.
so that means that
Massey
Kyle.
always
Who came in
loses.
first, Kyle?
So the standings, I'll go from the bottom top. Massey finished with 278 points.
Which is really bad.
Yeah.
Paul finished in fourth with 1,393 points. I finished in third with 1,399 points. Kendall in second with 1,442 points. And then Kyle with 1,513 points. Kyle was pretty good at pick'ems.
Kyle, you get to make a 5-ingredient gross shot for me and Massey to do.
Yay.
Man, I thought it was going to be like they got to wear jerseys and stuff. That's
For what it's worth, in the sleeper.
No, because I would
finals-
rather drink anything than wear any. I'm not doing it.
because can I tell you, like, what? Bless you. When I was sitting in fourth,
I'm not doing it.
When I was in fourth, I was like, they're gonna make me wear a fucking Cowboys jersey. I was so I was like so paranoid about it.
Here's the thing: if we ever really did, like, if that was like a real like fantasy thing, like in our group or something, I would pay the money if I came in first and you came in last to get an Eli Manning Cowboys jersey made.
Bless you. Remember that time we made Massey wear a Seahawks one, but it was Ashley, so he just wore it around his neck.
Yep.
What's really funny is that's what they do in the bedroom too.
Put it on.
Our
She goes, "Tell me you're
Set It
Russell
and Forget
Wilson."
It league.
I'm sorry.
Our sleeper Set It and Forget It league
What?
finally finished.
Oh,
Nice.
Did I
So
win?
in third place,
What?
Rebecca beating Kendall 195 to 159.
Kendall got fourth place.
Damn.
I got last. in this
Championship
one.
the championship rounds. Mock versus Paul. The winner,
Anticipation.
Paul,
aw.
227 to 174.
It means I get to make you a gross shot.
No, Kyle.
Last place was
Uh,
Kyle.
No, but I can make it for mock too, though, right? Votes in. Yeah.
We can cancel each other out. I can make mine for Massey.
So like you don't have to do one, so I don't have to do one.
Yeah.
I'll think about it.
All right.
I want to know what you're doing for Massey first.
Wasabi peas.
Well, that's just not fair.
You can't do something like
Hennessy.
no. You have to do it because you have to do it. I have to do it.
All right,
It's gonna be wasabi carrots
Yeah.
and gingered lettuce.
Kyle, I'm gonna,
Ginger lettuce.
Kyle, I'm gonna make you Brussels sprout stock out of grain alcohol.
All right, nice, dude.
God.
Cream of
Imagine
Brussels.
what that would smell like.
Cream
Your
of Brussels
fucking
sprout
ass,
soup.
probably.
Cream of Brussels sprouts.
Soup. Forgot the soup part. It's just Graves, mayonnaise, and Brussels sprouts on the
Oh,
boil.
man.
Ah.
Oh, I meant to send you the guys' picture. Hold on.
You know, I've sent
In
it
the pot, it's gonna have a lava lamp look to it.
I've sent it out a few times. I forget what the name of the shot is called, but it's something. It has mayonnaise in it. I've sent it to you guys a few times.
Yeah.
I want to say it's called the Rusty Nail, but I don't know if that's it. I'll look it up.
Rusty Nail. Rusty Krieger.
Oh no, it's called
The Rusty Nail cocktail.
I'll say the rusty nail is just Drambuie and Scotch.
Oh, it's called like. Oh, hold on. I'll find it because the name is funny.
The tapeworm shot,
No.
because that's mayo, Tabasco, and black pepper,
Oh my god.
and vodka.
Oh, it's called the Smoker's Cough.
Ooh, what is that?
Jägermeister and mayonnaise. Could you imagine drinking that?
You guys are smelling your ass.
Seriously, the name of the drink is funnier than the ingredients. It's just gross.
Oh, you guys should see the video of this. It's literally just a shot poured of
Stop.
Jaeger,
It's violent.
and then they take a spoonful of mayo and just scoop it off into the shot glass.
Oh, that's unbelievable.
You would do it.
I know what I'm gonna do for
I think we
Kyle.
all could do it. It'd be gross.
Kyle's gonna be the creme de breakfast.
What do we got?
Ooh, what's the creme de breakfast?
Creme de breakfast is white chocolate liqueur, egg yolk, brandy.
Oh man, Vomite.
I can handle that one.
Probably could. You'll probably be like, to the bed. It's the richness from the egg that really helps it go down the gulp. Could I have like a whiteboard or something out of Kendall's bag of goodies?
Yeah, I'll take one as well.
What are we doing?
We're doing the draft.
I can't wait to draft players that do not play the positions I picked them for.
Kyle, there's notebooks in there too. Could you grab me one?
Why can't you use
So
a
what do we
whiteboard and a
do?
marker?
Why do you have enough whiteboards?
I mean, we usually do.
Well, I know my whiteboard's in my
Yes.
house. We're doing that.
Almost just dropped all the things.
We're doing the fantasy thing where you spin the wheel, pick the team, and pick the players.
For what sport?
NBA, baby.
Cricket.
Oh, alright. So what are we drafting?
Squash teams
Okay.
based off of NBA players.
Center, point
Good
guard,
hands.
shooting
Fuck,
guard.
Hurt my hand.
Point guard, shooting guard, small forward, power forward, center,
These aren't good.
3 bench, 4 bench, coach, and assistant athletic trainer.
No,
Yeah. Yeah.
because I don't feel like looking for that.
Well, you should know
Is there
that.
one more good one?
Well, 2 more because I don't have a marker at
No,
all.
this one's all right. I'm testing them out for you here, Paul. All right, that's a no.
I can use my phone too if I have to.
Listen, hold on. Kyle.
That's green, so that's pretty much not going to work at all.
Oh, it works. Do you want green or black?
Green. Notice how I caught that and Kendall didn't.
Huh.
You know what happened? My index finger basically just bashed into the marker. How many bench players?
4. Next week is hockey.
Oh. Hey, just real quick, can you guys list the positions?
Point guard, shooting guard,
Tackle.
small forward, power forward, center, bench times 4, coach.
3 bench or 4 bench?
4.
5.
6.
And 1 assistant athletic trainer.
All right, we're going to have to look stuff up.
Kendall, draft order. Come on, man. Get on top of your shit.
Don't look up until you know what pick you are.
Well, I just got to get close.
I got you, bro.
This sucks because you guys are in studio, so I can't tell them to keep doing it until I get my pick I want.
I have the team generator up if you want.
No, he's got a wheel, man.
Oh, I'm picking last.
Hold on. I never write
My
souls.
prediction, it's going to go
What do you
Paul
rate?
Kyle.
first, Mock second, Massey third, Kendall
What are the odds? I'll take the odds.
me last.
The trampoline thing? With the trampoline thing?
No, this girl's like leaning into her fridge, and she opens a jar of pickles and then falls
I've
backwards.
seen that video a lot. That's like my worst nightmare.
Wait, what happens?
I'd rather the Bears just never have a winning season again than have that happen.
Oh,
What'd you say, Mark?
Hold on, I'll send it in our Instagram thread.
Okay.
It's terrible. Kyle, Mock, Reed, Paul, Mass.
Nice, dude.
You know what?
Nice.
Again.
Oh man. Again.
All right, hold on. We can't do it that way. To be fair, do it 15 times, and that's whatever we stick with.
Hey, remember that time Massey did that to Chris Jankowski and he's still mad about it?
Yep. Kendall's counting so hard.
Yeah, it's also not changing.
Hey, it's the same. It's not.
All right. Mock, Massey, Kyle, Paul, Reed. Kyle, you cool with that?
Yeah, I'll take third.
If you want, you can trade with Mock and take the first pick.
I decline your trade.
I can't wait for the first team to be the Kings.
Come on, team I know.
Yeah, come on, Lakers. You have to take Avery Bradley if it lands on the Lakers. It's the rule. Kyle made that rule up.
The Phoenix Suns.
I just want to make sure I have the right team.
Yes, you have the right team. This is bullshit.
What is it?
The Phoenix
Suns.
Is it?
Yeah.
I'm going to take Devin Booker.
Doesn't play there anymore.
It says he's a GF. What the fuck is a GF?
General Foreman.
What is a GF?
Guard forward.
I don't have
You
that
can put
on
him
my
at
board.
shooting guard or small forward.
Now, are we allowed to move players later?
It
doesn't matter.
I say once they're on your starting lineup, they're locked in.
Yeah.
Okay.
Where are you putting him?
He's going to be my shooting guard.
Who's up second?
I think I am.
Yeah.
Yep. Hurry up, Mass.
Nope.
Hurry up, Mass.
Quick, no.
Whoop.
I'm thinking between two.
What?
Well,
What?
we know the two, man.
Yeah, just fucking pick one, man.
Take the bench guy. Hey, you know what
Chris
videos
Paul.
are kind of funny?
Alright.
When they film each other eating the banana and they play that song. I don't know what the song is,
All right.
but it makes me laugh.
Going DeAndre Ayton.
Mass, are you placing Chris Paul at your point guard position?
Yes.
All right. Kyle, will you be placing DeAndre at your center position?
Oh, yes, sir.
Coach.
You won't take Avery Williams.
You're correct.
Coach.
You are correct.
You are.
Not singing the song. Shut up.
My fire.
Little country twist on it.
I'm gonna take Cam Johnson on the bench.
All right, Kendall.
What do you think? Some JaVale McGee here? No.
I know that's who you want.
I mean, it's
Hey,
not a
did
bad
you know
pick.
that Kendall is candly?
Very. Very much so.
Kendall, you're so candly.
What?
It's tough. Landry
I'd like
Shamit's
to
a good
rescind my pick. Kendall hasn't picked yet. I'm still on the clock.
No.
You don't
You
get to
picked
say.
it.
You don't get to say you're not here. Only people in person can vote.
I'm pretty sure your modus operandi has been you pick, you're done.
I've never been that way. I fought for the take back last week. Mock's the one that said no. But I'll make sure that Mock gets Giannis and LeBron if he lets me pick again.
I don't want either of them.
No, all right. I'll take them both then.
Are we still waiting on Kendall?
Yeah.
I'm going to take JaVale McGee on my bench.
Wow.
If you're not Paul, you get to take starters first.
The one
Do you have
guy I
to think-
thought was gonna go didn't.
Who?
Michael.
Michael Bridges?
Yeah.
You know, I thought the guy's name was Michael. So I was like, yeah, that's a weird name.
I know. So we going to eliminate this team, or we're going to?
That's who I meant to take.
Yes.
What'd you mean to take?
Cam Johnson's still pretty good.
Yeah, I know.
Paul, who'd you mean to take?
Michael Bridges. I was looking at him, but then I accidentally. I also clicked Cameron Johnson.
Ken, we up first with the.
Oh, gross. Oh, man.
I'm not going to know the guy that I pick.
Oh.
What team?
The Thunder.
Thunder.
Oh, boy.
Ken will pick the best guy.
Yeah, there's only one selection here. You shouldn't even have to look it up.
Oh, I need to.
Well, I'm going to.
I know who Paul's gonna pick.
Because Kendall probably won't pick this person.
Just looking at the bench here. Not a lot of guys that are worth taking.
Ken, take the
Dear
fucking
Lord,
guy,
Kendall,
dude.
even I know this.
You're talking about Mr. Gilius Alexander?
Yeah.
No.
There you go.
No, not him. No, Dort.
Oh yeah.
Dort's the guy you want to take. Leguentis Dort.
I actually don't know who that is.
Leguentis. His name is actually Leguentis. Like Lagunitas.
Oh, they have Derek Favors.
You should take Derek Favors.
I'm going to take Shai Gilligas Alexander.
Well,
I don't know a single guy on this team.
it's pronounced Shay.
Is that who you want me to take, Kyle?
I know who you're gonna take.
Are you thinking it's Dort?
No.
Yeah, it's the rookie.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I know.
This guy here looks like one of those Island Boy guys.
Ah.
Him right there.
Yeah, I'm going to take Josh Giddey. He's coming off the bench. You know what? I lied. He's not coming off the bench. He's going to be my starting shooting guard.
Is it Kyle's turn?
Oh yeah. I'm taking Lou Dort on my bench.
Sorry, guys.
That was the original name of Dortmund College.
Lou Dort.
Man.
I got a sick defender.
I'm going to go ahead and take Trey Mann on the bench.
That's the Island Boy.
That's the island.
I'm going to take him.
Yeah, dude.
I'm going to take Big Mike Muscala on the bench.
Nice.
Hey, will the Thunder win 10 games this year?
They already won 10 games.
Did they?
Yes.
If we were simulating a 2K draft, I would already quit Mock's franchise. Also, I would also quit Massey's franchise too, though.
Listen, he's on the bench. Omar Sik
that's
is
not
no
very
longer on the
nice.
team.
Massey, your team would not be fun in 2K, and I already know that. Ooh.
What do we got?
Good to be in the top 3 is what we got.
The Minnesota Timberwolves. Yep, Mass.
No, he's not.
No, he's not.
You're up.
All right, I'm getting to the
You know
roster.
who it is.
Kyle, I got to make sure he fits in my positions.
I know he fits in your position.
I don't care what you know.
Okay. He's the biggest fucking shooting
I
guard
don't
I've ever seen.
care what you
I already
know.
took a shooting guard. See? Man, the guy I thought I was going to take isn't even on this team.
What? Do you know what team you're on?
Timberwolves.
Oh, he's looking at the Dallas Timberwolves. The female outdoor lacrosse team.
Who are you looking for?
Listen, I know that I'm wrong. It's just
Kevin Garnett's retired, man.
I'm glad I looked at this list before I said anything. I'm going to take Anthony Edwards.
I'm going to take Cat. It's not my pick.
It's
Massey's pick. It's
Yeah.
Massey's pick.
So it just says he's a guard. Do I
He's a
put him-
shooting guard. He's a 2.
Put him on your bench.
So he's on my bench.
Yeah. Good 6-man. Massey?
I'm taking Cat.
All right, I'm going to take D'Lo.
Are you up?
Yeah, I'm 3rd.
Am I 4th?
No, you're 3rd. Fuck, I did it again. You taking D'Lo?
Yeah.
The guy I was thinking of is on the Grizzlies, not the Timberwolves.
John Morant?
Yep.
John Morant.
I am
thing I
taking
looked up the
D'Angelo
list.
Russell.
I'm going to take Malik Beasley.
It's Kendall's turn.
Damn, Paul, that's what I was going to take.
Well, based off how I've been doing this draft so far, you still can.
God, do I take Torian Prince here?
Hey, Patrick Beverly's there.
Yeah, you can take Pat Bev.
You do love Pat Bev.
There's nothing you love more than a scrappy smut man.
You do love Pat Bev.
I need one more person to say it for me to take him.
You should
Hey,
take Pat
Kendall, I
Bev.
think you like Pat Bev.
All right, I'm taking Patrick Beverly.
As my coach.
Here's the thing. Kendall's team, it's not good so far, but like we would use it in 2K. We would play it. It's a challenge. Massey's team is just so bad, though.
Very nice.
Why did you take him first?
Am I forced to put him in my bench spot? Or
Do you have a
He's
do,
good.
do you have a point guard?
Yeah, I got.
Then he's your bench guy.
Right. Why does he know if he can move around?
No, he's a point guard. There's some guys I'll allow to be moved around, but like he's a point guard. I mean, like it's like Anthony Edwards. Anthony Edwards has probably played minutes this year at small forward, but he's a 2. He's a shooting guard. That's what he is. It's not like the NFL where it's like wide receivers don't line up as running backs. Debo.
Yeah, Cordero
Sometimes they throw touchdowns, Debo.
Yeah. Sometimes they catch him.
Debo.
Sometimes they lick assholes.
Oh.
Well, I know who he's taking.
The Washington Wizards.
John Wall.
Oh. Yeah. I'm taking him.
He's not there.
Wait, he's not?
John Wall?
No, Kentavious Caldwell Pope.
Is that who really is?
Yeah, that's my boy. Oh, it's so good to be king.
So we just lucked out, Kyle.
Yeah.
That's my guy. This marker's dying.
I'm going to go ahead and take Bradley Beal.
Damn it. Damn it, Paul.
Nice. Now I have 2 hyphenated people.
That's what we're trying to do, right?
The more names, the more points.
I mean, Kyle, you could still take the like leading scorer on the team.
Talking Cassius Winston.
Nope, Montrezl Harrell.
I did not see Kendall doing that.
I gotta pick my guy.
That's no, you don't.
I got it.
Do you enjoy coming in last?
I'm gonna probably come in 3rd.
You know what? I'm making another bench pick. I'm taking Spencer Dinwiddie.
Can't pick him. I picked him in a different draft 2 years ago.
He was going to be one of my starting guards.
Mass?
I'm thinking.
And no, I was not taking the other one.
I guess I'll take him because I need the spot.
Hold on. Is it your pick?
Yeah, you're last.
Who did you take?
I took Bradley Beal,
Oh, that's right. You went before Kyle.
the guy that's averaging like 30 points a game,
Yeah.
not Caldwell Pope, who's averaging 10.
I love him.
You don't even know what he looks like.
I know what he looks like.
What school did you go to?
Oh, it's easy. He went to. Hold on, give me a
Come on,
second.
Mass.
Coastal
I'm thinking.
Carolina.
Shut the fuck up.
No.
Well, listen, there's still more positions.
He
and
did,
it's
Kyle.
10:15.
Georgia.
I guess I'll take Kuzma.
That's the Coastal Carolina of the Gulf Coast.
Man, I was trying to rush him into not taking him.
Oh, Mike Black. Moxel has to pick,
Oh no, I was just,
so don't spin yet.
I'm not spinning it.
You're going to confuse him. Kyle, you spend the night at my house?
No.
Good.
All right.
Need some more yanking it time for me.
I'm going to take Montrezl Harrell.
Good pick.
Montrezl.
He was my third pick.
That's how it's
Who
spelled.
was your second pick?
Your pick.
So you were going to take Bradley Beal over Montrezl Harrell, but not Caldwell Pope.
I love Caldwell Pope. That's my guy.
He's going to be my center.
Spin the wheel, my guy.
Hey, you see the Cubs are on this list? It's the Pistons logo.
Yeah, it doesn't look anything like the Cubs logo.
It's compressed like that. The blue and the red.
No.
No whammies, no whammies, no whammies, no whammies. Oh!
Uh-oh.
This is the worst one to have the fucking fourth one for.
Warriors.
What
Golden
was it-
State
what was
Warriors.
it about to be, and then what did it end up being?
No, the Golden State Warriors.
It was almost the Pelicans.
Oh, okay.
I'd rather pick Scrubs from the Warriors than a starter from the Pelicans.
All right, hold on.
A lot of good options.
Really?
You're up,
Yeah,
dude.
I got to look at the positions, man. Because last time I didn't, Kyle made fun of me.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, but do you care about what Kyle thinks?
Yeah, it's Steph Curry, point guard, on my bench.
Really?
No.
Oh. I mean, at the end, if there's like an egregious thing like that, we can adjust it. You know what I mean? But like,
Who's up, Massey?
obviously, if you take 5 point guards, then
Massey,
try
you're
to
up,
get a
son.
good one.
I'm going to take Klay Thompson.
Bold move.
I'm taking Draymond Green.
That's Kendall's guy, man.
Yeah, that's kind of disrespectful.
I am going to take at the point guard Gary Payton Jr.
Take him, Kendall.
It's Gary Payton second.
Take him, Kendall.
Kendall, if you don't take him, you're a bitch.
So I want both Andre Iguodala and Otto Porter Jr.
You got to go with the guy with the longer name.
Oh wait, there's a hyphenated guy here. Juan Toscano Anderson. I'm not picking him though. Kyle, I can't take Wiggins
You can.
You can't and you should.
just on my bench.
Yeah.
Fine.
You have a shooting guard and a small forward.
Oh, I can put him at shooting guard.
Yeah.
He's listed at small forward. Then I'm taking Wiggins as my.
I was really hoping he was going to take out a Porter Jr.
I can't take Andrew Wiggins if there's a hyphenated guy there, because I'm a scrub. I'm a guy who thinks he's fly, also known as a fuckface.
The 3 pick is tough in this.
Mm-hmm.
They're never going to get the good guy.
It's true. But you'll get a solid team.
Unless we have the Nets.
But we didn't. We got the Indiana Pacers.
I'm not gonna know this guy.
Doo-da, doo-da.
Now that is funny.
There's really only one first round pick here.
Yeah, that's right. It's DeJuan Washington.
Oh, you said it. You said it.
Nice pick.
What is this pick?
It's Kendall's pick.
Said this was the Pacers.
That's what I was gonna say.
Ah.
Yeah.
I know who Kyle's taking, too. Kyle, I know who you're taking. If both guys are gone, I know who you're taking.
Yeah, me too.
Does he come off the bench for this team?
No,
Oh, never mind.
I don't think so.
Is that
Wow.
an actual fart?
Real
Yes.
fake.
Nice.
I guess I should fill out my center now.
Your
I mean,
call,
if
bro.
you're ready to fill it.
I don't know.
Is there a hyphenated name?
I don't know if I want to waste it on the chance I get a better center.
Let's go.
All right,
Kendall.
I was going to take Miles Turner.
I'm going to take DeMontis Sabonis at the power forward.
Okay. Kyle.
I'm taking.
Come on, man. Look at the backup point guard. Tell me you're not taking him.
I'm taking Karras over.
You fucking traitor.
I love McConnell.
Good bench piece, man.
Speaking of McConnell, TJ McConnell.
Don't pick.
What? Yeah, you farted right now.
Oh, yeah.
It's just sewage seepage at this point.
It's getting soupy.
Mark, you're up, man.
Oh, it's me? I'm sorry.
Daddy.
God.
Oh, Daddy.
Wish I listened to all the other guys that got taken.
DeMontis Sabonis, Miles Turner, T.J. McConnell, and Kyle. Who'd you take?
Karis LeVert.
Karis LeVert.
Lance Stevenson on the bench.
Can you give us an air guitar quick, like he does?
Hold on.
Spin, Kendall, spin.
Massey didn't pick, did he?
He did. He picked T.J.
Yeah,
McConnell.
he did.
How did Malcolm Brogdon not get picked?
Because Massey's doing this.
And
Oh,
Mark.
I thought he was picked.
And Mock.
And
well,
Kendall.
But Mark picked a good guy.
Hey, I'm gonna pick the guys
Also,
I
my
like.
I could have put him on the bench.
Sixer.
Philadelphia.
Oh, and I got the first one.
There's only one pick, Mark, and you have it open.
You know, I started typing the name.
Yeah, but do you want to be a piece of garbage?
Actually, you don't. You don't have it open. You have 2 centers on your board.
What do you mean? Only on the top?
You have one there, one there. Oh, it's Coach. No, Coach is down here.
I forgot we were doing coach.
Good right center twice.
Yeah, I should have picked this Coach for the Pacers.
All right. I don't want tickets.
What?
I don't know. It came
What?
up 76ers tickets. I don't want that.
I know who Kendall's taking. Kendall's taking Gorgie Dang for sure. Gorgie Niang.
It's a good chance.
All right. I'm putting Embiid on the bench.
Who's your current center?
Montrezl Harrell.
Could you imagine the situation?
My marker's dying.
It's just Montrez, by the way.
Is that how it was written out?
It is Montrezl Harrell.
Massey, you don't know.
Massey, you're up.
I want.
The way
I
it's
watched
spelled
the
on the
third most
roster is there's an
fun
L
NBA.
at the end.
Yeah, it's
Tobias
Montrez.
Harris.
Oh.
Losing my marker.
I am taking Matisse Thybulle on my bench.
Kyle, can you find me a different marker?
You have like 5 in front of you.
I gave them back to you, Dick. Hey.
I heard you.
Hey.
I'm going to take Seth Curry on my bench. Rescinded. I said rescinded before he even spoke. Kendall, do you accept my rescind?
I mean, I guess
Do you want Seth Curry?
I could take him. I mean,
Hey,
Is that what you want?
can I be picked? Because if I don't, we're all going to have the same problem at the end.
I already. Kendall has. I asked Kendall if I could repick.
oh, so
I'm waiting
I
for
mean,
his answer.
if it was for the HC position, this is the guy I was going to take.
Oh, go ahead.
But if you want him,
Let's just take Seth Curry then, man.
I'm taking.
We
Mr.
can't take
Rivers.
advantage of you like that.
I'm
you
like
taking?
sitting here like, we're all not going to pick a coach.
Who are you taking?
Doc Rivers.
Have fun getting eliminated in the first round.
So the way it'll happen is then just in whatever the draft order is, you spin and that's the coach you get.
That's fair.
Yep.
If we get to that spot. Today, Kendall.
Listen, I'm only as fast as the program allows me.
The program's allowing you to do it today, so
I
hurry
am
the
for
fuck up.
sure not going to know this guy. Sacramento Kings, Mass.
Oh,
So many options.
You can
There's
take our
really good
jerseys
options.
here.
Oh, can we?
You can.
I will take the jerseys.
All right. Your pick is in. You heard it.
I will take De'Aaron Fox on my bench.
Who?
yeah, who?
De'Aaron
De'Aaron
Try that name
Fox?
again, Kendall.
De'Aaron?
Dion?
No, De'Aaron.
Deanna?
De'Aaron.
No.
You didn't say that
No.
either time. And it's not De'Aaron. It's De'Aaron.
De'Aaron.
He's saying it weird, right, Kyle?
You're saying
De'Aaron?
it
He's
Dion,
saying like a white guy.
Deion Sanders.
De'Aaron.
No, it's not Dion.
De'Aaron.
That's what I'm hearing
De'Aaron.
from him.
De'Aaron. De'Aaron? Is that what you sound like an asshole when you say it like that?
Well, because you raised your voice like a prick.
No, De'Aaron.
It's
That's how
not.
you
No
say
one
it.
says it like that.
De'Aaron.
No.
Yeah, we're
De'Aaron.
only doing 4 bench spots.
Yeah, what?
Yeah.
All right, 'cause I'm out of bench
This
spots.
marker's
so it's
dead.
All right, Paul, who you picking?
Torn between two people. Hold on.
Can I have a marker, please?
I'm working on it.
Kendall missing a golden layup for a player on this roster.
I mean, De'Aaron Fox is the number one guy. I think.
Well, yes, but for him, I mean.
Try that one.
Hit the microphone.
Heard that thump.
That would hit your hand, by the way.
I thought Kyle was throwing one too.
Whose turn is it?
Paul.
Yeah, I'm just thinking.
Oh my
sorry.
god. Who did that how you doing guy?
Me.
Oh man, I won this draft.
The sound Kyle just made was like fading away from the mic.
I just won this draft.
Okay.
Holy fuck!
Can you pick it?
It doesn't matter. I've already picked it.
He just picked the John Brames. Son of a bitch.
I'm gonna take Tristan Thompson on my bench.
He's got all the
You want the
Kardashians.
Kardashians?
I'm taking Tyrese Halliburton.
I already have too many guards. I won this draft. It's fucking. It's so great when you know you've won the draft already.
I'm taking Buddy Hield. Bench.
Where he belongs.
So are we just doing the coach thing at the end?
Yeah, we could do
We
that.
can. It's up to you. Or you could take. Or if you want, Mock, one-time offer. You can sacrifice this pick to Kendall and get Contavious Caldwell-Pope from him.
I don't want that.
You should have said yes.
I'll take Marvin Bagley the third.
Come on, we all would have agreed to it, and it would have pissed Kendall off.
Power
It
forward.
would.
You screwed up, Mock. I
Power
boycott.
forward.
We all don't go disc golfing with Mock anymore.
Oh, yeah.
No one's allowed to disc golf with Mock for a calendar year.
I've already done that.
I
What do
thought
I
we were
get?
talking about, like,
You don't
David
get it.
Caldwell Pope's.
Oh man, Mock, Jesus. Dallas
What is
Mavericks.
it?
You up first?
Yeah.
He that's the position he plays. Just say his name.
I want to look at the roster.
Come on, man, you're wasting time with this.
Listen, I gotta do due diligence.
Say it right.
Do you?
Guess who's taking Trey Burke?
You.
Yeah.
Yes, Mark. He plays small forward and he's white. Out of Croatia.
I'm gonna take Luka Doncic.
Gee, what a fucking shock.
Max, you're up.
I fucking hate him, but Kristaps Porzingis.
God damn it.
Bench.
Fuck you, Kyle. Fuck you, Kyle.
What?
Say your pick.
I mean, do I want to do it for the?
Thank you, Kyle.
Do I want to do it for the memes?
Fuck you, Kyle.
Oh, always for the memes, Kyle.
Fuck you, Kyle.
I'm doing it.
Always for the.
Kendall
You're
is a
not getting
hyphen
the ride
name.
home with us then.
It's a hyphen name.
I know.
I'm taking
Not worth it.
Boban.
I'm taking Jason Kidd.
Oh man, I thought we were doing the coach thing at the end.
I'm not. I don't have. There's. I'm not taking a fourth string center.
Last pick here. A lot riding on
It's
this.
not your last pick.
What am I missing?
Well, you're gonna make your pick and then.
He already has his head coach,
Oh.
so you should have two spots. You have 4 bench guys.
Yeah.
Did you write power? Did you write point guard, shooting guard, small forward, power forward, and center?
I did.
Did you put Doc Rivers in one of them?
I see what I did. We're good.
What'd you do? Put Doc Rivers in bench?
Nope. Shy is in both positions. Run him kind of in between.
So the last pick, it should, whatever spot you got left, just spin it, and that's who you get.
No, that's not fair. Those of us that have positions and drafted right We'll spin for a team, and we'll get fucked that way. Who has... Because Massey, Kyle, and Mock have head coaches left?
Yeah.
I'll take Jason Kidd in hopes of getting a better center than fucking Rashawn Holmes.
Hey, Boban, baby.
I couldn't take Boban.
Why not?
You took him.
Were you gonna take Boban?
If he was there, I thought you were going to take Jason Kidd.
I love Boban.
No, you don't.
All right.
The last guy you said you loved, you didn't draft.
Off the
Still
bench,
waiting on
Tim Hardaway
Boban only
Jr.
playing- Isn't Boban only playing like 5 minutes every night now?
It's not the point, Mouse. He's the nicest guy in the NBA.
He also has that cool goldfish commercial. 1 goldfish? 2 goldfish.
He was also in John Wick
Three
Chapter
goldfish.
3.
Was he really?
4 goldfish. See, that guy
Yeah.
told you it was a good movie, Kyle.
No, you said John Wick 2 was a good movie.
Well, fuck. You're first, Kendall. So this is so what position do you need, Kendall?
I need a power forward.
So you get
What's the
Robert
team?
Covington.
Robert Covington. That's who you get.
What's the team?
He got the Portland Trailblazers. Spin it again. You're just going to spin 5 times. You're getting Robert Covington.
I could take Larry Nance here,
You could if you want.
but I won't.
All right.
I will take Robert
I'm going to be
Covington.
so fucking mad if it lands on the Bulls.
What do you need?
Center.
So do I have to eliminate this?
We don't have to do that. I mean,
No,
because
it's fine.
you guys
Don't
have
eliminate it.
positions.
Just spin it again.
Okay.
Because one of them could get the head coach.
Who's up?
Me.
So now it's Paul. Paul
Me.
needs a center, and he gets a
Jared
guy.
Allen.
Jared
Oh,
Allen.
I know. Kyle, your coach.
I lucked out big time. Come on, Billy Donovan. Damn. Well, that worked out.
I got Steve Nash.
All right. Nasty's head coach is spin it, spin it, spin it.
I was looking to. There we go.
You don't need to eliminate it.
Well, we do
Kings.
now.
No, you don't, because Kendall just likes to be in control. Like he thinks he is.
It wouldn't.
Kendall's like
wouldn't
that
advance.
Criminal Minds guy that's like not in control at home. Rebecca calls the shots, so he goes on a killing spree.
Nash's got David Jorgen. I
I
think
actually didn't hear who you said, Kyle.
the
David
Grizzlies head
Jorgen.
coach.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna get the Pelicans.
Today, Kendall. Oh, you got Michael Jordan, man.
Man, I thought it was gonna be the Magic. Who's their coach?
I don't know.
I'm just gonna write Hornets.
The city is his coach.
It's James Borrego.
Yeah, Hornets.
All right, Kyle, you want to be the point giver, and I'll take your team.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, I got Gary. I'll keep my team. No, I'll make a switch. You can make switches from bench to start. So I got Seth Curry, Bradley Beal, Josh Giddey, DeMontis Sabonis, Jared Allen, Cameron Jordan, Gary Payton II, Malik Beasley, Tristan Thompson, Jason Kidd as the head coach.
All right. One big flaw on your team:
What?
no defense.
I mean, Jared Allen leads the league in blocks like 12 times.
Yeah,
in a
but
row.
with the other 9 guys.
Tristan Thompson also leads the league in blocks, or is also a block leader every year. And Gary Payton Jr. is a defensive juggernaut. I'm confused as to what you're saying.
You get a 6.3.
I'll remember that. I'm going to be fucking biased to get myself the win.
I'm not gonna give myself the
All
win.
right.
But you said my team has no defense. I got 3 guys that are Defensive Player of the Year candidates right now.
6.4.
Up 0.1.
I'll remember that.
My team, I also made a switch. I have Joel Embiid at my center. Steph Curry is my point guard. Devin Booker, shooting guard. Marvin Bagley, the third. Power forward. Luka Doncic, small forward. On the bench is Big Mike Muscala, Anthony Edwards, Lance Stevenson, Montrezl Harrell, and my coach is the Hornets coach.
You can get starting 5. Yeah, having that first pick was
Who's
easy.
your shooting guard? Your starting shooting guard?
Devin Booker.
Who's your starting 3?
I'm sorry?
Who's your starting shooting small forward?
Luka.
Luka doesn't play small forward, Kyle.
Yes, he can.
He does not. He's a shooting guard. But you can switch him and Booker, so it's fine. But he doesn't play small forward, Kyle.
You know, I looked at the roster and it said that, but Kyle told me he plays there.
He does not play small forward.
Whatever.
If they could swap, then it's okay.
Yeah,
Okay, 6.5.
Your starting 5 is stacked.
8.4.
Yeah.
We have Anthony Edwards coming off the bench.
8.5.
Anything to fuck me over. And Kyle's really shooting for the stars at the end of the show here.
Kendall?
Okay,
F.
in no particular order. Miles Turner, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Robert Covington, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope.
What do you mean in no particular order? Who's your starters?
Well, I can't pick who I want to start. I like them all.
Well, then pick 5.
Like them all.
Kendall should be an NBA executive. I would pay to watch that team.
You like watching John Gruden in the Gruden camp.
All right, I'm going to keep it. But see, De'Aaron Fox should start.
You get a 3.8.
It's like he's the real Pelicans GM. Hey, I got players, but fuck them.
No, I want the best for these guys.
Yeah, so did he. But he didn't start the right ones. You're talking about benching De'Aaron Fox.
Oh, he's got to start.
Who has to start?
Fox.
What's his first name?
De'Aaron.
You know, Iron.
That's better than what he's saying.
De'Aaron.
He's saying Dean.
De'Aaron.
Dean.
I'm not doing that.
Dean.
All right.
You are doing that. Dean. Dean.
De'Aaron.
He's putting all this emphasis. You're putting that fucking little squiggly semen on the end. Dean. Dean.
DNA.
Kendall can't pronounce fucking names. Oh my goodness. All right, just read your team. Kyle will make your starting 5.
Miles Turner, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander,
It's Shea.
Robert Covington, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, Andrew Wiggins, JaVale McGee, Patrick Beverly, De'Aaron Fox,
That's
Tim
just so
Hardaway
wrong.
Jr., and Doc Rivers is my head coach.
4.5.
Trash squad.
Good squad. Bet you I win. If we input these into NBA and simulate, I win.
Do you see his starting 5?
It's not going to matter. These guys have chemistry. That's more important.
They don't respect you, though, as a GM. You can't even pronounce 2 of their names.
I said
You call
everyone.
them Deanne and Shay. It's Shay or Shy. You call them Shy and Deanne.
Shy.
It's Shay.
I've always heard on TV Shy. That's what ESPN says.
That's not true. Kyle, have you ever heard it Shy? It's always been Shay.
Yeah.
Always.
Massey.
Shy.
Guy has 2 all-stars on his team, can't pronounce either of their names.
De'Aaron.
You guys will never be Caldwell Pope. That's what you're saying to them.
De'Aaron.
That was way better.
There's
De'Aaron.
something around that I don't have.
D. Abron.
What is it?
Aaron.
Fish.
Double R.
Massey.
It's
I was
fish.
waiting for the talking to stop.
It's a fish.
Kat, Chris Paul,
Wait,
Klay
what's his name?
Thompson, Kyle Kuzma, and Tobias Harris as the starters. Trey Mann, TJ McConnell, Buddy Hield, Jesus, Kristaps Porzingis on
Buddy
the bench, and Taylor
De'Aaron Fox?
Jenkins Taylor Jenkins as the coach.
How about 6.2?
Well, I got voted as the
So
second.
the same score as Paul.
No, you're ahead of Massey and Kendall.
Yeah, I don't have that thing either.
Paul, what score did you get?
Mock and I gotta go.
Paul got a 6.4.
Kyle, your team?
D'Angelo Russell, Tyrese Halliburton.
0.2.
Point guard, D'Angelo Russell. Shooting guard, Tyrese Halliburton. Small forward, Karis LeVert. Power forward, Draymond Green. Center, DeAndre Ayton. My bench is Lou Dort, Spencer Dinwiddie, Matisse Thybulle, and Boban. And my coach is Steve Nash.
A lot of defense from you, big men. No scoring. 6.8.
That's fair.
So Mock wins.
No, Mock always wins.
We're going to chalk that up to good
I-
draft timing.
I'm going to just...
It was
Looks a
pretty
little
cool how
bit
you always
final.
got the good team on your roundabout, and then Kendall always got like a shit squad. It didn't help that he
Well,
didn't
Kendall
draft
had
well.
a couple good choices, and then he fucking
Picks
took players
Caldwell
like
Pope.
Kentavious Caldwell Pope. Exactly.
He's a good
So,
player. He's
Over Bradley Beal.
Listen, professional athlete.
It's like a tomato.
Eric Weems is a professional athlete,
He was, yes, he was.
and so that means that he's better than
Heinz Ward.
Santonio Holmes.
In this particular instance, no.
Why?
But, well, I mean, the stats speak for themselves.
Well,
And the stats for Bradley Beal over Caldwell Pope
But
speak for themselves.
But it's a different position.
I like how Kyle
No.
gave
These
insight
are
into Paul's draft, and that's literally the only one he gave insight
Perennial good player.
Okay, so Eric Weems is better than Jimmy Graham.
Caldwell
career.
Pope is a laughing stock in the NBA.
No.
And Eric Weems is
No.
better than Jimmy Graham all-time career-wise.
I don't know if the stats back that up.
Why?
I don't know. I
But
feel
they're
like they
different
don't.
positions, just like you said.
Right.
So Bradley Beal is not better than Caldwell Pope because they play different positions.
And Caldwell Pope and Bradley Beal pretty much play the same position.
And I'm also going to tell you, if Bradley Beal played small forward, he would average the same amount of points. If Caldwell Pope played shooting guard, he would probably do worse.
Who would you have taken second?
Kuzma.
Who would you have taken third?
I'd have to look at the roster.
Dinwiddie,
Yes.
Who would you take four?
Montrezl Harrell.
Over Pope.
Yes.
Yeah.
I disagree.
That's because you're bad at knowing things.
I would take Harrell at the 5.
Kendall, you think that watching trains is more fun than watching football. That's what's wrong with you.
I think they're equal.
That's even
They're
more
both,
what's
they're
wrong
both
with
fun. I enjoy them both. You guys are just mean.
Would you like to sit on a comfy couch and drink beer and eat fried food all day and watch sports play? Or would you rather go sit in a cold, dark, damp tunnel and watch a train pass by every 7
maybe
hours?
see a train.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would do both those
And
things.
just so you know, if you do see a train, 98% chance you've already seen that train.
It's not true.
Yeah, it is.
Those,
I got a
those,
question.
those numbers do. Those numbers do not.
When
work.
you go,
80%.
Also does not.
When you
work.
go train watching, do you run into some weird guys?
Yeah, it's
They're best friends with a weird guy.
It's a very bizarre hobby. There's
Their
there's
best friend train guy is like, oh, I can't tell you what I do for a living. It's top secret. You know what his top thing is? He jerks off the trains.
Oh, he works for the military.
Can you imagine that? If you
Yeah,
just
train
coming on
jerker.
trains as they drive
General train jerker.
You know,
He works for the
I just want
military
you
in
guys
his
to know
own psychotic
that
mind.
I'm not having fun anymore. And
Good.
you guys are the
picked
worst.
Caldwell Pope. You shouldn't be having fun.
I still stand by it. I'm very happy with my team.
And it would finish in last.
I know we got to put it to the test.
I will put this in the simulator.
All right.
I
Let's do
forgot it, but it's team.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I just erased it. But it's on the recording. We'll get it.
It exists.
2K's not going to do so well for me, though, because Josh Giddey's playing way better than the 2K rating is going to give him credit for.
Update incoming.
Still not going to reflect well.
He's gonna win anyways. He's got 4
Yeah.
All-Stars.
5.
Now, when
Anthony
you do-
Edwards.
When you do a simulation, do you have to turn injuries off, or do you just like let it lie?
No, you put injuries on and you let it lie.
Right.
And then it'll fill in the rest of your bench. Just so you know, the computer is going to automatically fill in guys for you that will start over the team you drafted.
Well, listen, I can't control that. I just picked my guys.
No, you're right. You can't control it, but that just shows how shitty your draft was.
No, the draft was excellent. That's a
Wasn't.
first place team. We'll
First
see.
place in the Special Olympics.
Well, that's uncalled
You
for.
know, like, if I put it in,
And
I'll be
also
the
still not
Nets,
true.
Hornets. Who's your coach?
Jason Kidd.
Mavericks, Sixers, Grizzlies.
Yeah, that's right. I get the dry heat on my side. You don't have anything.
Got cheesesteaks.
I have a city.
What?
Do you think Kendall's team makes the playoffs if you simulate it?
No.
Yeah, I'm assuming.
Like, if they do, it's like a 9-10 playing game.
And they get beat by 40 points.
You guys are going to see. Eat your words. Do we have time for a Mike Mock draft or no?
I don't think so.
No?
Maybe. Do a 3-rounder.
You know, I didn't come up with one because I knew this was going to take a while.
Mm.
Could be
All right, do it
garbage.
again, but hockey. Let's go.
No, we save that for next week.
Do it again. We're not doing hockey.
Why not?
Because that will take 3 hours. You kidding me? Do you know how long it took Mike Mock to look up an NBA team? He's be sitting here being like, oh, this guy.
Take a long time.
You got nothing on the show for next week.
That's not true, man. Oh, well, now that we know that, you want to close out the show with now that we know the playoff things, you want to do predictions for Wildcard Weekend?
Sure.
All right. Giants versus Bears.
Bears.
Wait, what?
They beat them last week.
They did. Convincingly.
Everybody beat the Giants convincingly. No offense.
Yeah, but I know, but it was impressive to give the Giants minus passing yards on the day.
Yeah.
Like Glennon got his revenge game in.
Hey, you got the 5th pick in the draft.
And the
seventh.
7th. I don't want to put 3 fingers for that, but I
Can't wait. They're going to package both picks.
to move up to 4 and pick an offensive lineman.
No, they'll trade. They're going to trade for...
Could you imagine if they trade 5, 7, and Barkley to move up to 1, and then they take
Offensive lineman Evan Young.
who they can probably get at 5.
I will be doing a draft almost every week starting in like February.
All right.
We'll post them to the Graham.
I will.
No, we'll post them. You just send them.
Talk about it.
Why? What? I want to see your stuff. Why would you not pull it?
Because you picked Caldwell Pope over Beal. That's why.
Well, we still need content.
And you
for
still
social.
can't pronounce half your team's names.
De'Aaron Fox.
That's better than what you were saying with Deanne.
I would never say Deanne.
You did.
I
It's
didn't.
Diana Fox.
Yeah, Massey's over here like, I hear Dion Fox.
Massey's in a tunnel. The
No,
same
tunnel.
tunnel I'm watching
You're in a
trains
tunnel.
in.
All right, so we got the playoff bracket.
So take the lead, Mock.
All right, so the first one up, I'll start on the AFC side.
Caldwell Pope is going to lose to everybody
You have the Chiefs and the Steelers.
in Arrowhead.
In Arrowhead, I say the Chiefs win that game. Kyle?
I would tend to agree with that.
Yeah. I'm not happy about it. but
Kendall?
Closer than you think. Chiefs win.
Ben's got magic, man. They're going to beat the Chiefs.
Yeah?
Putting it on record.
For the one real Steelers fan in the room,
Just a Ben fan.
didn't
man.
expect it to be Paul, but
I'm just a Ben fan, man. I subscribe to the 6 no's and a yes still means yes.
all right.
Pittsburgh.
No, it's too late. You already
Too late.
cashed on your
Can't-
vote.
You can't do
You
that.
scum
They did.
You have to go home and tell your father.
He knows that the Chiefs are going to win.
that he's hung.
So Chiefs, Kendall. Do you click that or no?
Oh, no, I just thought we were going through.
Oh,
We're
okay.
just predicting wild card.
Okay.
You can give winners though if you want Super Bowl.
So
winners.
the next matchup is Bills Patriots, AFC East matchup.
Bills.
I think it's me the Patriots.
I think it's Bills. The last time they played in non-terrible weather, the Bills won.
Did you guys see that stat that the Dolphins were like 8-0 against teams with quarterbacks with O in their name and 0-7 with teams without an O?
No, that's very funny.
Like they beat Mac Jones twice, but no, what was it? It was something with an O. I forget what it is. Something with an O, but like it worked out. Like they lost to Josh Allen twice. They beat they lost whatever it was. It was very funny. Just the NFL being the NFL.
Paul? Bills, Pats?
Pats and 5.
Kendall?
Bills go down and come back to win.
Mass?
Bills.
You're going to be going down on
No.
Cole.
Pats.
All right. The last AFC matchup, you have the...
Wait, did Kyle pick?
Kyle picked the...
Bills?
said the Patriots,
What's it?
right?
No, he said Bills.
Oh, Bills, sorry. The Cincinnati Bengals taking on the Las Vegas Raiders.
Bengals.
I say the Bengals.
Bengals.
Bengals put up 40 points.
Raiders, time for Joe Mixon to get hurt.
All right, on to the NFC side. The first matchup is we have Tampa Bay Buccaneers at the Philadelphia Eagles.
Tampa Bay by 42.
I agree.
Tampa Bay by 3.
Kendall?
Tampa Bay.
Mass?
Eagles.
He just did it because I was controversial on the AFC
Yep.
side. He's trying to copy me.
The next matchup, we have the Dallas Cowboys
It's a real Caldwell Pope move.
versus the San Francisco
I agree.
49ers.
San Francisco.
Cowboys.
San Francisco.
San Francisco.
I think San Francisco got hot.
I think San Fran's going to get it done.
Cowboys. Fuck it.
And
Cardinals.
Can't believe
In
I
the
did.
final NFC matchup, you have the Los Angeles Rams taking on the Arizona Cardinals.
What team?
This doesn't influence my pick. Is Hopkins out for the whole year?
Yeah,
Yeah.
He can't come back at all,
he's
right?
out.
What team plays worse?
I think the Rams right the ship.
I think it'll be the Rams.
I'll go
Losing
Rams.
to the
Rams,
Cardinals.
Rams.
I'll go
The
Rams.
Cardinals. You know why? You know why I say the Cardinals? Because Jalen Ramsey will have no one to cover. So he'll be useless. He's just going to be out there being like, the fuck do I do?
So there's the wild card predictions.
He'll be covering Jermaine Gresham the whole game. You won't know what to do with
Well,
himself.
you still, I mean, there's still
Well, Christian
Zach
Kirk.
Ertz, AJ Green.
Kirk, there's AJ Green.
Ronald Moore from Purdue.
Zach
He's
Ertz.
gonna cover them both.
He's not covering Zach Ertz.
So there's the
If
wild
you sit
card
here and
predictions.
You tell me that Jalen Ramsey's covering Zach Ertz for the game, then you, sir, have not watched Rams football ever for the history of life.
He's covered tight ends before.
For the game.
Oh no, he's never
Yeah,
covered.
so
any
shut
of
your
it.
fucking mouth.
Actually,
I'm
James
aggressive
Conner might
now.
Run for 140 yards. So
Who?
James Conner.
No, he's just going to catch 4 touchdowns.
James Conner is the bane of my existence, aside from anybody on the 49ers.
Look, it's going to be Bucks Chiefs again. That's the Super Bowl for the next 8 years.
Ugh.
You know what's going to be really cool though, is when the Bucks don't renew Brady's contract after next year after he's won them their third straight Super Bowl.
Third straight.
And what's going to be really cool about that is that then he's going to convince them to just cut Mac Jones. So go back to the Patriots, win 5 more.
Throw up.
All right, so legitimate question: if Brady wins another one now, and was to go to another team and win, hypothetically, will never. I can't say never with fucking Brady. If that happens, is there any point in time he ever catches Gretzky as the greatest of all time in sports?
No.
Okay.
I mean, championship wise, yeah, but just
Well,
on
He'll be the
stats,
greatest winner. He'll be the greatest winner of all time.
Okay.
Here's the
Gretzky's
deal.
stats are just too outrageous.
It has nothing to do with that. Until number 12 can't be worn by any team in the NFL, the answer is no. Nobody's allowed to wear 99 in hockey.
That's fair. Okay.
They retired a jersey across the sport.
Yeah.
I was just curious to see what it would take.
Come.
That could end up happening in the NFL.
I hope it does. I hope it does so bad.
That'd really bum me out. Mostly because I like the number 12. I just hate Tom Brady.
You know what would be really funny, too, is if they did it, and then they were like, anybody who's got a 12 in the rafters, take it down. Brady only. You hang up Brady's banner in your rafters. I tell you, that would be very funny, because every hockey arena has number 99 hanging in the rafters.
I'm curious to see how the Yankees are going to handle Mariano. Because 42 is
Why?
already retired across the league.
They'll just retire the name.
That's right. I mean, because I don't know if he has a plaque yet.
They'll retire the Sandman song. Nobody else is allowed to use the Sandman
Which is
song.
weird. Does he have a plaque?
Yeah, he probably does.
He must. But I don't remember it happening. But
Statistics show that Mariano Rivera, even as a pitcher, was better defensively than Jeter. Stats show it, man.
I like the stat that comes up that say more people have walked on the moon than have scored on Mariano in the playoffs. That's cool. I would say that to
Is that a real
everybody.
stat?
Yeah, I think because it's more American. I think there's been 7 Americans on the moon, and he's only given up 6 runs in the playoffs.
That's amazing.
I would tell that to everybody.
Yeah, but that doesn't account for the amount of runs he's had since then. He's probably shitting all the time now.
Huh.
Kyle, how's your sloop?
It was good. Weird aftertaste.
What was the name of it again?
Pixie dust.
Can you give me any defining characteristics about it? Anything that makes it stand out from just being another beer?
Apricot.
Apricot.
Made with real apes.
Was it also made with real DNs?
DRMs, you mean?
It was made with pixie dust, man.
Any flavors that stand out to you? Anything at all? Or does it just taste like a rodeo cheeseburger?
I mean, that it does. There's no description.
Well, what does it taste like?
What kind of beer is it?
It's an IPA.
And what does it taste like, Kyle?
Just fucking say citrus, man.
It doesn't really taste that citrusy.
Well, expand
Help
on
me
that.
out, guy.
Well,
You're the one
This is
drinking it.
your review. Just
Yeah.
tell.
Oh.
I do taste oranges a little bit.
Okay.
So citrus.
No, just the zest. It's zesty. It's not citrusy. Come on, Mark. Where the fuck have you been?
Tasting some orange peel.
You guys familiar with those vitamin C tablets?
You ever suck on an orange rind?
I'm kind of getting a pharmaceutical taste.
Sorry, go ahead, guy.
I'm good, man.
Oh, all right. Kendall?
Kendall, what free beers did you have?
I had kicking off was Baby Kittens.
The Dion Fox.
That wasn't what you kicked off with.
Oh,
also.
you're right. Well, off air, before we started the show, I enjoyed a Smirnoff Ice.
Hey, do you guys want to ice Kendall every week for the whole year?
You could do that.
Except we just ice him with scotch.
No, because he'll enjoy that too much. I'm thinking like 30% red bottles of wine.
Could you imagine just every week letting him face a bottle? It's like
Drink this wine.
That'd be very funny to watch him chug a bottle of wine.
Well, when we get start. Well,
Oh
Rebecca
yeah,
would be pissed.
Huh?
Rebecca would be so pissed.
Don't care. I'm leaving. Not my problem.
Not gonna. He's your problem.
Hey, he's sleeping
peeing on the table.
Yeah, he's in the basement forever.
We're still gonna do a wine show.
No, we don't.
We do.
First show in February, baby.
Let's do it for Valentine's Day.
Oh yeah, why was that never pitched?
That's a really good idea.
Valentine's Day we do a wine show and everyone has to bring chocolates. Kyle's bringing Reese's Sticks. You already know it.
I was so mad.
He's gonna go. You know what you should do is you should go home and dip a whole rodeo cheeseburger in milk chocolate,
He's gonna go to the movie theater to buy a box of Crunch-A-Bunch.
and then eat it on the way here.
Start off with the Smirnoff Ice. Delicious. Anyone who says otherwise is wrong. Excellent product.
It's not good.
Oh,
So-
it's good.
So, not to interrupt, but Valentine's Day falls on a Monday.
Awesome.
Yeah. Rebecca's been bitching for weeks. You better not do a show.
We can't do a show.
Well, I already know I won't be able to do a show.
Yeah, I won't be able to do a show.
We're gonna do a show. That holiday's a sham. Anyway,
Kyle, you're not doing a show either.
Guaranteed. I'll probably be working.
the Baby Kittens, Fat Orange Cat.
Let's try. Well, now that we know that in advance, let's try to get together on a weekend and record a show ahead of time.
That's a good call.
All they did is a fucking stupid ass holiday.
6.5%.
Is it more dumb than New Year's?
It's the same.
Is it more dumb than people not being able to pronounce De'Aaron?
No.
6.5% alcohol by volume.
So we'll get into it.
I've had this before. Mock was right. As time went on, this was not as fresh and sharp,
It's fucking 8 months old.
but it was still enjoyable. Also, a New England IPA, which coincidentally leads into the Pixie Dust. From when I recall it having it at its freshest, it did have a more citrusy aspect. I would say that I wouldn't say orange per se, but I think this had more of like a tangerine type taste to it. I enjoyed it. Off the top of my head, I don't really know how many New England IPAs I've had on the show, but this would probably be on the list. I enjoyed it. I'll give it 4 flat out of 5. And then Sloop Brewing from Souls over there, Pixie Dust, also a New England IPA. This was 6% alcohol by volume. This one had a more, I would say, like orangey mango type thing versus the Baby Kitten. I enjoyed this. This was a very crushable beer. I would like to try this on draft if available. I'll give it 4.2 out of 5. Would get again.
Massey?
Started out with the fresh from Alvarium. Was a very citrus forward beer with a little acidity from something I couldn't tell what it was. It wasn't citrus, but something towards the end there.
Marzipan.
Nice crisp finish on the end, and then finish the night with the Fluffinity from Night Shift Brewing. Actually, both beers I drank tonight were pretty citrus forward. Nice taste of hops on the back end, but finishes nice and smooth.
I had 6 Rolling Rock extra pails. I mean, here's the deal. It's a serviceable beer. It's a delicious, crushable beer. Nice and light. I drink about 1 billion of these. Love them so much. I've decided that 2022 is going to be a year of themed beers for me. Every month's going to be a different theme. I'm going to drink that beer the whole month. So the year of January is just domestic shit. Started off with the Natagasseret, the Rolling Rock. Should be
There
the
you
year,
go.
man. Kondo, where can they find us?
Well, before I do that, we got to kind of
Not Kendall, where can they find us? Mike Kendall, what's on PPRN? But...
Well, we have to advertise something real quick.
Oh, go ahead. Should have fucking said that to everybody beforehand.
No, it's fine. I forgot about it, and then I found the paper with my other paper.
Real quick, just so you know, Jonathan Taylor is the first league-leading rusher to not reach the playoffs since MJD in 2011.
Hilarious. So, hopefully, I mean, I know I'm already signed up. I'm hoping that Paul gets in as well. But this year, February 26th, is the Cranberry Ice Bowl, presented by the Fairfield County Disc Club.
It's in Norwalk, Connecticut.
In Norwalk, Connecticut.
Cranberry
PDGA
Park.
sanctioned event. It's been going on for about 20 years. They're taking donations for the Open Doors Shelter of Norwalk, pretty much a charity that helps people fight homelessness. Getting Sports With Drunk is sponsoring a hole at the event. Don't know which one yet.
It'll be a whole mock bogeys.
Oh, bogeys. But I know, yeah, I signed up. I'm playing in the tournament. Paul's on the wait list. Hopefully we'll get in. But we will be there sponsoring a hole. Check it out.
I think in the next coming weeks, we should try to get together as a group. Massey, you'd have to come to my house first because it's a huge haul for you down in Norwalk. Yeah. But I think we get together as a group. We maybe grab the GoPros and we let Mock go take a round at the course. We all play the course, have some fun, film a couple bullshit things, post to the gram.
Yeah.
Give Mock some exposure to the course. I'm the only one here who's played the course. Beautiful course.
Let me tell you guys why the Giants suck.
We're going long on this one. Mock's going to be just another hour.
But, yes.
Because he hates San Francisco.
Follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Getting Sports With Drunk. Twitter is at GSWD_4.
Make sure to use the hashtag GSWD for all your daily uses. Whether it's helping a good cause and sponsoring something that donates to a good place, or being completely fucking stupid and not being able to pronounce an NBA name. Or two.
De'Aaron Fox.
Durin?
De'Aaron.
Like,
He said
subscribe, and review
De'Aaron.
on Podbean, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcast, iHeartRadio, and Spotify. I said Apple Podcast twice.
Internet radio podcast places find us. Kendall,
_4.
you got 10 seconds. Get through it now.
Okay, some changes to the lineup. Peter Pino Show, Wednesdays at 7:30. Choreorama, Sundays at 2. Friday Night Delight, 5 p.m. with Mike Rotolo and his wife Jess. Getting Sports With Drunk, Mondays at 8. The Gray Area, Tuesdays at 8. Hell Effin' Yeah, Tuesdays at noon. Hell Effin' Yeah Live, Tuesdays at 2 p.m. It's the Boo Show, Thursdays at 7. Saturday Mixtape, Saturdays at 6 p.m. I think it's still going to be a bi-weekly thing, but they're still working it out. And anything that ever comes along concert-wise. So they're kind of taking a break from it, but may be coming back.
Thank you for tuning in to all the great stuff happening on the PPRN Radio Network, especially ya boys at Getting Sports With Drunk.
I got to say one more really funny thing.
Go ahead.
A guy, so sports betting went legal in New York on Sunday, and this guy on Reddit made a Giants suck parlay, and he bet $95. It was a 5-leg parlay. It was that the game would be under 38.5 points. Washington would win on the money line. Jake Fromm would have under 224.5 passing yards. Saquon would be under 79.5 rushing yards, and Kenny Golladay would be under 64.5 receiving yards. This guy won $346.
That's awesome.
Go Giants.
Go Giants.
Sorry, continue.
Make sure to tune into all the great stuff. Until then, I'm your hostess, Cupcake the Riddler.
I'm Mark.
Sheen Washable.
Nope.
I'm Kyle wearing 2 different shoes by accident soles.
The Masker's Massey.
And the Red of a Red Baron.
Darren, check.
Yeah.